I mean, we expect all these things, yet we still get surprised when they happen.
Mm.
Because we think of it as like it's like, no, it can't happen. It's impossible, and then it happens, and you're like, really?
It's like really crazy.
Yeah.
Like, dudes are actually investing time thinking their shitty emails is gonna do anything.
Because we think these things, we imagine, yeah, they're capable of doing it, but in the back of our heads, we're like, no, not really.
It's just not possible. Like
yeah.
Like, I just can't foresee them actually thinking that anything they say will be added value. Like,
yep.
It's crazy because, like, especially and they're bold, right? They put on Twitter, oh look, I wrote my letter. Everybody check it out.
So it's way better than other people's.
And I'm like, I'm looking at the letter. I'm like, bro, you're just repeating what Microsoft said. Like, you guys aren't even doing it right. Like, you guys aren't even writing a letter and writing your perspective. All you're doing is regurgitating shit Microsoft already said to the CMA, except they did it better. You are just corny. Like, yo, it's crazy.
Persona speaks. He was reacting to one of them, and the guy was talking about, it was like General MLD. He was talking about how the PlayStation, they get away with increasing prices on games and the consoles, but then it's like, he lives in the United States as far as we know, so why is he talking about something that doesn't affect the US? Because they didn't raise the prices in the US. It was only in the UK area.
Yo, this is crazy. I might do a hot take on his thing.
Yeah, bro, hot takes are good.
I'm gonna do a hot take on his letter because it's just so funny.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, this shit is hilarious, bro. Yeah, it's just a funny time.
I think I tagged you in something else. I don't know if you saw it.
Let me see.
I think it was yesterday, where what is it? There was a guy talking about how Microsoft actually turned down Genshin Impact.
Oh yeah. I saw that article. Yeah, I even talked about it. I made a quote tweet, saying that like, that's been an issue for Microsoft for a minute. They turned down Grand Theft Auto. They turned down Spider-Man. Believe it or not, it's in the book right here, and I'll show it to everybody. Volume 2, The Ultimate History Guide of Video Games. And there's a chapter talking about how Spider-Man, what we're playing, came to be. Activision had just a short, quick story. Just to paraphrase it real quick, is Activision had no issue giving up the license because Activision never saw comic book characters as big IPs. They just saw it as quick cash grabs based off the name, but nothing really to truly invest in because you can't really do much with an IP. And the Marvel games, I forgot his name, but he's the one that had a bigger vision, because he wanted the Marvel Universe games to be as big as the movies. And I think there was a quote that the Activision said, "Hey, good luck finding your unicorn. Good luck finding that publisher." Right? They actually went to Microsoft first to pitch the idea of Spider-Man, making a big blockbuster AAA, and Microsoft turned them down, saying that at this point they didn't see any investment or future into that. Yeah, they're not interested. And then they went to Sony.
It's crazy how
it's like if I work for Microsoft and I was in that meeting like this, and the guy approaches to Spider-Man, I look at Microsoft like, yeah, let's do it, and then they say no, I'll be like,
what you mean, bro? Yeah.
Wait, come back. Like, he no. Like, forgive him, Father, for they not know what they do in Microsoft. Like, yo, the dude literally approached Microsoft and be like, yo, let's do something with the Spider-Man IP. And Microsoft's like, nah, we good.
3 brownie points, and they turn it down.
They're like, nah.
I just wish I could know.
We're about to make this deal with Crossfire. That's the new hobby. It's like, what are you talking about?
I wish we'd know what the mentality is over there at Microsoft and what's their ambition for games, because it's like, how do you turn down a Spider-Man, dude?
Someone sent the video. I haven't seen it yet, but apparently the video explains that apparently during the OG Xbox era, Microsoft had the ability to get Resident Evil 4 as an exclusive. I don't know the full story. I gotta look at the video.
Yeah.
But when I saw it, I'm like, wait a minute. Microsoft almost had RE4, because remember, a lot of people don't remember, it went to the GameCube. RE4 was an exclusive.
It was
on the
GameCube
GameCube.
only.
Yeah, and then like a year or so later, it went on PlayStation 2. But when Nintendo announced and Capcom announced, I think they started it with RE4 and then RE0 or vice versa. I don't know how it started it. But a lot of people are thinking, wait a minute, did Resident Evil franchise go exclusive to Nintendo? That's crazy. But I had no idea that Microsoft had a chance. I got to look at the video to see what they're talking about. But I'm thinking, hold on, during the OG Xbox era, Microsoft themselves said they screwed up. If you watch the documentary, that, Rockstar approached them with Grand Theft Auto 3. And they told them no. Now, if this RE4, if I look at the video, is true, think about it. Imagine the OG Xbox. If they would have made the right decision, they would have had Grand Theft Auto 3 and Resident Evil 4 exclusive to Xbox during the OG era. That shit would have been crazy.
That would have turned the tide.
Oh yeah, or they would have been much more popular. That console would have went from like 20 million to at least 40, 50 million, easy.
Yeah, because
with those two games.
It was considered the shooter box, the multiplayer box, because it's what popularized it. But if it had Resident Evil 4
and Grand Theft Auto 3
and then GTA 3
exclusive, well, at least for 2 years. That would have changed everything. Grand Theft Auto would have changed everything. Also,
if they had GTA, they probably would have gotten Vice City and San Andreas.
Yeah, it would have been the whole. It would have been what PlayStation had, except it would have been on Xbox. That would have changed everything. That is crazy. Yo, that's insane, brother, man.
That type of thing is what the other guy that worked at Microsoft did for the 360 when they got GTA 4.
Peter Moore.
The DLCs.
Yeah, Peter
Moore.
Yeah, he knew he had to get PlayStation exclusives and make them multiplats. And he did his best to do it. What helped them do it, though, was Sony screwing things up for themselves. The console was difficult to make. It came out a year later, and they launched it at $600, which caused it to not sell, not to be the hotness. And third-party industry.
If it came out in the same year, it was so hard to develop for. It would have been just terrible.
But the main thing was, because it wasn't selling, third-party got nervous. Like, we can't put all our eggs in a basket on PlayStation when the console's not being bought. It's just reality. The first 2 years, the console was selling like trash. And 360 was selling great. So they were like, we got to put our games on 360. Because that's the consoles that's selling. No one's really buying the $600 things. And the few people that are, they're doing it as a Blu-ray player. So they're not even buying games.
Yep. So I remember when those talks were happening, because you would see Xbox fans and PlayStation fans argue over which console is better. And they're like, yeah, we got the games and we're cheaper too. And then the PlayStation guys would be like, yeah, but we got Blu-ray, so what?
Like, that's not even a game. Yeah, that's not even a game, dog.
That was where the arguments.
When I seen that chat, I was like, yeah, I'm going to dip out of this one, bro. This ain't it. Like, we talking movies? We talking movies? I'm like, yeah.
Bro, I'm trying to play GTA and COD. I'm trying to watch a movie on my console. What the fuck are you talking about?
What the hell we talking? I mean, the movie's great and all, but like, yo, we talking games here. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to dip out of here,
Yeah, that first few years was rough, bro. It was all Blu-ray defenders.
It was like, yo, we got movie enthusiasts.
The Blu-ray force, bro.
Yeah, I was like, oh, shit, we got these moviegoers invading PlayStation Nation. Like, yo, this is crazy.
1080p, 720p Blu-ray, HD.
Yo, it was crazy. It was crazy times and stuff like that. So what you been up to, man? What you been playing?
I've been playing. I just beat the campaign for Modern Warfare 2. It was actually pretty good. Okay. It felt like it was a little shorter than the Modern Warfare 2019, and the story was just kind of. There wasn't like a big bad in the game.
Is a remake of the original story, or this is a different story?
No. So the 2019 Modern Warfare is like a reimagining of the campaign, and this one is it's just like a sequel to. It's an indirect sequel to 2019. Okay. So it takes place a few years later. But what the first reimagining did so well was make you dislike the enemy. Al-Azhar, or whatever his name was, because it showed you what the kind of fucked up things he would do. So when you kill him, you want to kill him. In this game, you're just kind of going around doing spy shit, and it's cool, but the story just could have been better. But I still enjoyed it. It was good.
Because when I played, I beat the 2019 one, and I felt that the 2019 was more like a prequel to the original Modern Warfare. Because I remember the ending. They asked Captain. What's his fucking name? Captain Price.
For the name? Captain Price for the name?
He goes, he's like, hey, what are the names?
Sergeant Gas.
Yeah, and then he goes, blah, blah, blah. And what you going to call these guys? And then he's like, Task Force 19, which is who Modern Warfare. So I'm thinking,
141.
So I'm thinking, yo, Task Force, It's 151, right? 151, was it? What's
141.
141. So I'm thinking, so this was the prequel to
Yeah. So
Modern
it's not.
Warfare, it's not really
It's just them.
reimagined. It's just the story
Yeah.
behind Modern Warfare, but right before Modern
It's a.
Warfare.
Yeah, it's a different way of telling the story. It has nothing to do with the original, but they did it different because obviously some of the characters like Soap and Ghost, like
Yeah,
they weren't in the game, whereas they were in the first game,
yeah.
from the start.
And so Modern
So
Warfare 2 is like, is it like after, like did they
yeah, it's a
completely change the timeline or?
it's a couple years after, but
But
they don't
after
reference
what? Modern Warfare, the original,
after
or Modern
2019.
Warfare 2019? So
It
now,
has nothing
okay,
to do with
so
the original trilogy.
so like the storyline just completely changed from the original trilogy. Because
Yeah,
I
so
thought the first story was like the prequel to the first game.
Yeah, I can see how they made it seem that way.
Because Task Force 141 was the first Modern Warfare of 2007.
Yeah,
That was Task Force 141. So when the game ended as Task Force 141, I'm like, oh, so what he did was what led up to the first game, even though they named it the same title.
That's
Weird.
how they told it, but it's not the same story at all.
Really?
They're not the same timeline. Yeah. So 2019 and this one Arkham, it's like a different timeline from the original Modern Warfare games.
It's the multiverse now?
It's just the same character. Yeah, probably. Yeah.
They fucked it all
It's just
up.
the same characters for the most part.
All right.
But what I liked about this one a lot, aside from like the gameplay, like it just felt a lot more AAA, if I guess for lack of a better word. But I really like the characters. The characters have more screen time. They have more personality. So Ghost in the original Modern Warfare, he was a badass.
Yeah.
But if I ask you, tell me a trait about him, you wouldn't be able to because he's just a badass with a mask on.
Yeah.
In this game, he actually has a personality. He's funny and he's like a like a father figure to Soap and some other characters. Because he's just like this lethal ass motherfucker.
Okay.
And yeah, I really like the character growth in this game more because they did more with it.
Okay. All right. Cool.
It's pretty good.
All right. Yeah. I'm just not really interested in it. I thought I was gonna get it, but I'm thinking, who am I kidding myself? I'm not gonna be playing this shit. I'm just like, I just fell off the whole Modern Warfare grind. I thought I was gonna do it, but then I'm thinking, I might. Because I did it with Battlefield, right? And then I played maybe like 2 matches, and I just completely like, I don't want to do this shit. Like I completely just didn't want to do it.
It's
I didn't
the
want to
reality
invest my
of
time.
gaming today.
I don't want
the game comes out, it's garbage, and now it's good. Now Battlefield 2042 is actually a pretty good game, but it's like it's a year late, bro. Like you're late.
Yeah,
which is sad. It should have come out better. What about you? What have you been up to?
Okay, man. No, nothing. I started catching on some backlog. Right, I wanted to do something easy. Before I beat Guardian of the Galaxies, so that was actually really good. People were right. That game was really, really good. I think Square Enix should have released that game first, because I think that would have been, because everybody had an initial impression of what they want from comic book games. Because comic book games does better with storytelling. You know what I mean? Rather than being a live service, right? I think they should have focused on releasing Guardian of the Galaxy first, because that would have been the introduction of Square Enix in the Marvel Universe and give people what they want. And I think it would have given more time to flesh out Avengers. And
I agree. Was it Crystal as well?
I think Idols did Guardian of the Galaxies and Crystal Dynamics did Avengers. I think. Okay. But I think Avengers needed more time in the oven, more fleshed out. If they would have released Guardian of the Galaxies first, that would have hyped up Square Enix. People would have had a bit more confidence, and I think they could have released Avengers more complete and stuff.
They could have seen what Guardians did really good, and then copied that and put it in Avengers.
But Guardian of the Galaxies,
I think
you're
right about superhero games. I agree with that. I feel like it has to be either a story game that has single player or co-op, or an MMO. It can't be this live service.
Yes, I was gonna say that.
If Avengers was the whole New York City map and you could fly around and you see a bunch of other Iron Mans and shit, like that would be dope, because there's like events happening all over the map, and it's more about having fun with a bunch of random people as superheroes rather than having this weird story with levels and gear sets.
It's like they're trying to make a Destiny out of it, but it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
Right.
And
if it was a DCU online, like style of game, that would have worked really well. I feel like.
Yeah, and like the characters, it's not like, how would you say? they don't complement each other. Like, you could pick any character, and that's it. You could just go in and dominate or just fight. Like, there is no strategy behind, hey, you should have Black Panther, an Iron Man, or this character to really flesh out.
Oh, I see.
No, you could go in with 4 Iron Mans, and you'll be fine. You could go in with 4 Spider-Mans, and
there's no strategy, basically.
Everybody could be Spider-Man, and you'll be perfectly fine. Like, having variety of characters means nothing in that game. You could have 4. If anything, I would say having 4 Thors would be like OP in that game or something like that. Like, you really, the characters don't really bring any advantage or disadvantage, you know, other than maybe some stupid shit like there's a door you can't open unless you have someone that's smart, you know, or another door you can't get through unless they have like the smash ability. But that's nothing really major and stuff like that. But something impactful, or maybe have
the system like the game when you load into a match, depending on which characters they picked, the level automatically scales to whatever characters are picked. Like, if there's a Hulk, then there's going to be a lot of tough enemies, so the Hulk has something to do. If it's Iron Man, there's like a bunch of flying robots, so the Iron Man has stuff to do.
Maybe,
that would have been a cool thing too.
Yeah.
I feel like another big blunder was that game was announced and came out around the hype of Avengers. So when people saw the characters, they're like, that's not fucking Tony Stark. That's not Thor. That's not Black Widow. Blah, blah, blah. So
people didn't realize it's not based off the movie. It's going to be, it's like Spider-Man. It's not going to be based off the movie. But, So this is just weird and stuff like that. So anyway, let me shout out to everybody. Hey, everybody. Your only friend is YouTube Streets, Portorock77. Welcome to another episode, 60 Frames No Lag. Let me shout out to the chat. We got everybody up in here doing it up. Let me see, man. This chat is acting weird. Oh, here we go. We got True Virgil up in here. Of course, call me Jay. Via Rios channel member. What's up? Henry Lau. What's going on? K the Barbarian. Sneaky Snake. AC. Phil D, what's up? You know, The Brain, what's good? Thanks you for coming through. Captain Ply, Spider Silver, Kratos, what's up? Yodo Cyril, what's up? Who we got here? Kratos 99, DD Vito, and we got going through Prequels Goat. Hola Moco, what's up? The Truth 100, what's up, my brother? Thank you for coming through. Gabe, you know, talking shit about my beverage. Relax, it's sugar free, all right? You know what I'm trying to say? You know, all these years of diabetic gaming got me hurt. You know what I'm saying? Cloud Strife, what's up? Planetary Federations of Unions. Thank you for coming through. Alan Richardson, Steady Flow. We got Rage Knot, what's up? Andrew Wilkins. You know, Black Adam. Yeah, Black Adam was dope. That was a good movie. I saw that this past weekend, me and my wife. Michael 2XX, what's up, everybody? Hey, I'm glad you're out here. If you get the chance, hit the like button. I do want to say something. I want to add something that's going to happen going forward. So for the channel members, I sent them a private message. So every first Tuesday of the month, it's going to be about the channel members, meaning they're going to provide the topics for the first episode or for the first Tuesday of every month. So over the weekend, like on Saturday, I'm going to open up a private comment on YouTube. They will list the topics, and then we'll talk about it on Tuesdays. Reason why I want to do this is something for the channel members, but also I want to try to bridge out to a wider audience of topics. You know what I'm saying? I want to expand the portfolio and stuff like that, because I know there is a lot of topics. Everybody reads a lot of news, a lot of things going on, you know, and sometimes we get pigeonholed into the same console war topic, and every single podcast is talking about the same thing over and over and over. You know what I mean? And that gets kind of redundant. But there's a lot of perspectives out there that could be talked about. So the first Tuesday every month, and if for whatever reasons I can't do it the first Tuesday, maybe it's a holiday or an emergency, then it will carry over to the second Tuesday. But at least one podcast is going to be the channel members. They're going to post up the topics. I'll post it on Monday to all you guys, you know, to all the crew, so that way you have some type of idea of what's going on. And I think that hopefully that will add a bit more variety, more stuff within the community on what you want to hear. But it's the same thing all the time. You know what I'm saying? So we're just going to add that and stay tuned for more stuff to the channel. But while you're here, if you don't mind, please hit the like button. Because then, if you don't, then I'm just going to have to throw these ads at y'all. You know, you're going to get the Metamucil. And I'm not going to throw gaming ads. Nah, you're not going to get these gaming ads. You're going to get vitamin ads. You're going to get erectile dysfunctional ads. You're going to get Metamucil.
Game Pass ads.
Game Pass ads. Oh, okay. Well, technically, that's not gaming either. Nah, it is. But you're going to get all these weird-ass ads. You're going to get all these ads. You're going to get Art Foundation ads. You're going to get, you know what I'm saying, prostate exam ads. Have you had your prostate? You know, you're gonna get Capital One, you know, Visa. You know, you're gonna get all the. You're gonna get the ads you definitely don't want to see. You understand? You're gonna get them all. You know.
And they're not skippable. They're not skippable.
And they will not be skippable. They will not. You will see all 3 minutes of that. You know, you're gonna get all that stuff. You know, so or you can avoid all of it just by hitting the like button. The like button is free. But anyway, Craig is gonna be joining us. He says he's a few minutes behind. Oh no, he's here. The Messiah. Haha.
Oh,
Wait a minute. He's rushing right now. He's fumbling. He's fumbling his headset. He's like, oh gosh, darn it. He's doing his setting. Okay, now he's ready. Hey,
what's happening?
Hey, what's happening?
How you looking at it? I'm eating and listening at the same time.
What we eating? What we chowing down on?
Right now, this leftovers.
Oh,
Biscotti or spaghetti.
Biscotti? What's a biscotti?
That is something my girlfriend's daughter used to try to say when she says
spaghetti.
Biscotti.
No, she would try to say spaghetti, and she would always say biscotti.
Biscotti. Oh.
Oh
shit! Shout out to Spider Silver. You damn right. You're gonna get these Blue Chew ads.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You keep messing around. You're gonna get these Blue Chew ads, bro. Hell, I might hit them up and I'll be a sponsor. Keep messing around. You know, I can't get a like button, so you can't hit the like button. You're gonna get these Blue Chew ads and stuff.
Yeah,
and stuff.
I said that to them.
And
I said that to them the other day. Yeah,
and
you hit the like button. I'm gonna insert an ad.
And Manscape.
Yeah, bro.
Videos of you seeing, yeah, you're gonna see men shave their balls as on this channel. He said like button smash.
What happened to the Yankees?
What? They suck ass. That's what happened. It's like, it's clear.
Oh no.
Like, bro, there's like, yo, they just got dominated, man. So, hey, but that's old shit. Let's talk about my Giants. They 6-1.
Oh yeah, that's something else.
You know, baseball's old. That shit happened. Man, why you gotta bring up old shit, Craig?
What happened like a day and a half
that shit happened so long ago. Shit, I don't even remember the last time I seen a baseball game. That was such a man. We in football season, baby. It's gridiron time. It's gridiron time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nah, but
aren't the Jets winning as well?
I don't support New York teams with the letters ETS. So no Nets, no Nets, no Jets, no Mets.
Okay.
None of them. No ETS. The New York Ets are banned from my household. They are banned. But Yankees, yeah, they just simply got their ass whooped, man. That's just Houston's just 100% the better team. There's just they were just.
Yeah, I was looking at that. They're just better.
They're just better in every way. Pitching, hitting, fielding. They just it. They outclassed them. You know, whether the Yankees was they hit a bad patch or whatever, they just completely dominated them. There's just no doubt about it. So right now it's all about the Phillies.
Yeah,
they're doing fantastic.
Yeah, timely hitting.
Yep,
it's gonna be a good series.
That's it. So, but anyway, my Giants 6-1, baby. Woo! Here we go. That's it. That's what the Knicks. Somebody mentioned my boy. My boy, shout out Tyler Richards says, "What about them Knicks?" Yeah, what about them? I am not relying on the Knicks for nothing. For nothing. I would not hype the Knicks until after they win. That's how bad. They could be up 3-0 in the finals, and they will find a way to lose. I'm sorry, bro. Like, yo, the Knicks is just too hurtful. You know, it's just too hurtful, bro. Like, yo, it's like dating the baby mama that's on crack. It ain't gonna work out.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna work out. He said, knock it off, bro. You know I ain't lying. Yo, I'm a Knicks fan, but yo, that team is agonizing, man. It is so painful to be a Knicks fan. Hey, yo, Pierre, why you don't hop on Knicks and start trying to know? I haven't been there for a minute. And stuff like that.
A friend of mine said that's 5 black men that can't play basketball. The New York Knicks. That's what I was told.
You know, Knicks are 2-0 at least. Jalen Brunson's doing his thing, man. Henry Lau, stop, bro. Stop with that. Knicks are 2-0, man. You're gonna feel the pain, bro. They're gonna disappoint you, man. Yo, oh man, I'm telling you, until I see them actually raise the trophy, I won't believe it. That team is painful. Oh my God, I never seen a team so agonizing in my life. Like, God, that fucking Kent. Oh, I hate that owner. Oh, he says, hey, I'm with the Clippers. So, yeah, you know, Henry Lau, you know the pain.
Well, they've had some success in the
well, yeah, that's true.
years,
Clippers, you have better success than the Knicks. I don't know what we doing out here, bro. Like, yo, it's just bad, man. But anyway, hey, thanks for coming through, man. Hey, what you been playing lately?
Me?
Yeah, I know. You've been rocking that multiplayer.
Twitter.
Yeah, you know that.
You've been rocking with that Call of Booty.
Actually, I have a confession to make.
I knew it.
I called in the B2.
You called in the B2. You've been playing Call of Duty.
I did play a little Call of Duty, but I bought a B2 OLED, so I just been playing everything.
B2 was LG?
The LG, yeah.
Why you bought the old model?
The B2?
Isn't that the old model, or is that the new one?
No, that's a 2022 model.
Man, so they keep recycling the letters? I thought they were on C or D or E or F.
Well, it could be. Well, I've got it pretty much is a C2. Okay. That's what I have. I just have a new. I think my panel may be a little newer, but they're the same.
Okay.
They're the same. So I've been looking at everything. I've been playing I played Assassin's Creed Origin, and my God, that game looked fantastic. So I am currently loading the eye melter, which is Forbidden West, which everybody tells me is going to melt my eyes with this TV. So that is it for me. That and DCS Flight Sim. I've been doing that. I shot down a couple of people from I don't know, where were they playing at Australia. They suck. So
wait a minute. So you like you face off with people like in play matches, fighter to fighter?
Yeah, fighter to fighter. Online.
Is it just 1-on-1 or is it like a whole group?
Well, it was 1 against 2. They jumped me. It was 1 against 2. His friend joined. I shot them both down.
Oh, but you can have people on your side. Like you can have your wingman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I could, but I have an F-22, so I got them both. They didn't even know I was there.
So you do play multiplayer.
That was multiplayer, yeah. Trying to qualify for a tournament.
So you do play online with other men.
I did.
So you do go online and shoot down other men.
I did. Yeah, I did.
Just so you can say I'm the best online with other men.
No, I never said that.
I'm messing with you, brother.
No, somebody emailed me to play. I'm like, all right, I'll try.
So you got an email from other men to get online. Like little kids. They're emailing you to be like little kids to play online.
I turn into a child.
They email
me.
The
email didn't say anything but tee, and then he got on the game.
He got on with other men online. Shoot down some planes. He went.
So you
going around going pew pew pew. Target lock. Pew pew.
The email said pew pew with me. Yo, and then he got on the game.
You know Craig. He pop on his tape of I went through the danger zone. You know he's doing that. He has that shit blasting. He thinking he Tom Cruise right now. He has the shades and everything and the leather jacket. He's like, I feel the need for speed.
I used 2 AIM-9X Sidewinder missiles and shot them right up their shaft. So I'm like, you all had enough? Yeah, man, we just wanted to kind of see what was going on. All right, that's fine.
You know,
so
Craig be opening the window so he could let the sunlight go through the window, make it look like sunset.
The glasses on and
and everything. Oh shit, Craig. Oh shit. Shout out to Bazooka. What's up? Shout out to Bazooka Long. I'm not saying the last word. I am not saying the last word. We're just gonna say Bazooka Long. You ain't catching. Yo, I'm real careful. I'm real careful reading your names quickly because y'all catch me all the time with your names. So Bazooka Long. He says Call of Duty campaign is fire. All right.
That's what I heard. That's what I've heard.
Right. Yeah. I'm glad you're enjoying it. And JFK TV. He says, "Yo, I had a long ass day. I'm going to have to listen to this tomorrow afternoon while I'm on the road because I'm sleep on my feet. Be safe, player." Yeah, no doubt. You get yourself some good rest. We're going to make this entertaining. So that way, if you're on the road and it's a long road trip, you get to enjoy the entertainment.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
But thanks for coming through, JFK, man.
Have a good night, man.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Work hard. My man's working hard in them streets.
That's right. The gaming streets. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? No doubt, man. Thank you for coming through, But hey, let me kick off the first topic. You know what I'm saying? So the first topic out here is we really have gamers out here putting time and effort to write letters on behalf of corporations. They out here looking like Stan. Like, dear CMA, I really hate your decision you made, and you criticizing Microsoft on games they haven't even played. Like, what? Like, what are we doing here, right? So here's my question. We'll start off with Jay, right? We're gonna start off with you. What's your opinion on this? On gamers actually, like obviously you got the trolls, but you got actual gamers invested that they are willing to advocate and write emails and letters to the CMA over $1 billion acquisition, which they have to know their words don't mean shit. What? Talk to me, Jay. What's going on here?
I mean, it's just like I said before we started the stream. It's like in our heads, we are like, they're capable of doing it, but in reality, we're like thinking they're not capable of doing that shit. Really? Like, but they did. Like some guy at General MLD again, he said as an avid gamer, and I'm reading that, I'm like, bro, an avid gamer is playing games. He's not writing letters to the CMA, dude. So it's just ridiculous. I feel like the CMA did this to troll. I feel like the CMA said, hey, we're going to ask the public to see which community is crazy enough to waste their time writing dog-ass letters to them about this acquisition. And they're seeing this and they're like, okay, this is fucking crazy that these guys went to these lengths of doing this. Like, I don't even write text messages that long, dude. To people that I know. To people that I care about. I don't even write messages that long. You're really gonna sit there and do that shit, bro? That's crazy. And also the punctuation was all wrong. Like everything was wrong about that. Like he brought up examples of like PlayStation raising the price when that doesn't affect the US where he's from. It affects the UK. So what does that have to do with his argument? You know, this deal benefits all consoles, PlayStation and Nintendo. How, dude? If Call of Duty isn't on PlayStation, how does it benefit it? If it's on Nintendo, which it's not, how does it benefit it?
Yeah,
it makes no sense, dude. It's absolutely crazy. And it's like I said, we think in the back of our heads that jokingly they would do something like this, but in reality, we would never expect them to do something like this. And the fact that they did is absolutely mind-boggling, dude. People making articles, like people that are influencers, quote unquote, making articles about this shit, saying Sony better watch out, blah blah. Like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah,
A bunch of corny ass dudes, really.
yeah.
I read that and I read that as I'm playing a game, and I'm like, bro, play a game, go play. Like, you're already getting Call of Duty regardless of this acquisition. So why are you so fed up about it? It's so weird. It's so weird.
Craig, what do you think about this? You got guys writing emails. Thinking they're gonna influence major decisions.
Well, that's essay, bro.
Yeah, the CMS did ask for people's opinions, but I think they've already got their mind made up. There's a lot of people saying that they're gonna block the deal, but we'll have to wait and see. And that's why I said before, just people need to keep their powder dry, just wait for everybody to give their information, and they'll make a decision. And the fact people are writing letters is kind of like, well, okay, they did ask for outside input, so yeah, I wouldn't have done it. If I did, mine would just say, do your job. That's all I can really say to people like that. But yeah, so it doesn't shock me anymore what they're capable of. This is a group of people who will walk into a bar with a woman and be happy she's with them, not knowing that every man in the bar has already turned her out. They would just be smiling that she's sitting next to him. So that's just what they've become. And what's the thing that I thought was funny was Microsoft pretty much just dogging themselves out. They literally put out that they can't compete without this. Like, it would be unfair, because we can't compete with Sony. That's why they keep saying Sony is this and Sony is that and Sony has this many people. And that's just, we need this deal to go through because we have to. This is our only way to compete with them. So have to wait and see what they're going to do. But I did see some other, like Jay was saying, some other influencers saying that this thing could be DOA, and simply because they pulled Starfield and they pulled Elder Scrolls off of the PlayStation platform. Yeah, and so for them to walk in there or whatever they did, Zoom meeting, and say, well, we're not going to do that, they're already lying because you've already done it. So it's just, it's just like, well, So I don't blame the people for writing letters because they did say, just like we did it. I'm part of the community that's writing letters to Marvel to recast T'Challa, Black Panther, after Chadwick Boseman's death. I mean, I'm part of that community. We're writing, so but we're not angry and mad. We're just saying here's why, because of what the character meant to a whole lot of people, especially representation for Black people. That's it. We're keeping it right there. We're not.
Yeah, I feel
saying
like
So
your example is like it's distinct from what the whole Xbox people are doing, because you're writing letters because you want something, you want them to do something that you want, that the community wants, and you want it to keep living forward. This is made. This is being done for a corporation. You're not sending letters to Marvel for Marvel. You're doing it because you want more of this character.
Of the character, yeah. So, but so I understand.
Because you're advocating for yourself. These dudes are advocating for a company,
for a $1 trillion company. So yeah, it would be disappointing. But what else do you expect them to do? I'm just to a point where they've had no games come out this year, and their main goal online is just to say that Game Pass is getting quality games. That's what they've been reduced to. That's why they're talking about Persona 5, which I mean that game was downloadable for free over a year ago on Play. It has been on PlayStation for 4 years or 3 years or something like that. So, and they act like it's the greatest thing ever. Again, they walk into the bar with the woman on their arm, and everybody, all the guys in the bar are just like, "But we already had her." So what are you? And they walk out smiling, bragging about it. Look at my girl; she look good, don't she? Well, I recognize the top of her head. That's what most guys are gonna say. So, but that's just who they are and what they've become. No games, and so them writing letters is like Jay said, it's just some moist ass shit. What else can be said about it?
This might be tinfoil hatty of me, but I feel like this whole Activision and Xbox acquisition happened because of all the all the news surrounding Blizzard last year about the how bad they are as a company treating women and shit like that. So it gave Xbox like a leeway to go in and be like, hey, we'll acquire you and get rid of all this PR off of you, because Bobby Kotick is staying he's staying as like the CEO apparently. Yeah. So they never confirmed he's leaving. So
no, he's not. The part of their deal is for him to stay on. So people should be able to figure that out by now. But it would be disappointing if it wasn't like, well, this is who they are, and so it is what it is. So it doesn't surprise me that they would say something like this. But what I thought Microsoft would say is what they're saying, which is simply, you need to let the deal go through because we can't compete without the deal. That is their defense. We won't be able to compete with these guys because they have all these exclusives and they have all these big games and we can't compete. And so, but I think the CMA's made up their mind, and we'll just have to wait and see what they say.
Yeah, regardless, I can play Call of Duty anytime on my PC, so I'm not worried.
Yeah, which the gentleman in the chat legitimately said, and shout out to lots of people, Lincoln Clay, multiple people have said that the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 campaign is the best looking game they have ever seen. And that's a lot of people are saying that. So, I'll be playing it on Black Friday if I can get my hands on it.
Now, with these letters that they wrote, some of them had the audacity to actually post it, right? Obviously, they want to get support from their fellow cultist members, which is even funnier. I mean, they didn't even keep it on the low. Like, at least hide it. But like you saw with Ghost MLD and stuff like that, I'm reading these emails and these letters, and I'm like, these points are terrible. Like, you guys didn't really do anything. Like, for the most part, you just regurgitated what Microsoft said in the first place. You just took their words, reposted it, and made it terrible. Like, you should have just like, you just made it worse. Like you actually try to copy what Microsoft did and made it worse. Like, some of the stuff, like some of the stuff. Let me do this. Let's do this. Let's look at Ghost MLD.
It's just very funny, honestly, because it's like not to disrespect their intelligence or anything like that, right? But I read those.
I hope. Listen,
I read those messages and I'm like, bro, that's something that people would write in kindergarten or in first grade. Like, the way that it's written.
I hope
it's so weird.
I hope he's trolling. I hope he does it just for the laughs. I think he's doing it for the laughs, and he's like he's so good at it that people take him serious. But I'm thinking, yeah, he's got to be messing around. Like I think
Bro, he's defending it a lot though.
Yeah,
He's
but I
defending
think,
it
but
a
I think
lot.
he's like really, I think he's like really good into character. I think he's like
Probably.
he's like Leonardo DiCaprio. Like he's really into character because I just can't. Like I can't see it. Let me see. Let me find this. What is it? LMLD. Let me see.
This is very weird.
Like let me see if I can find it. Like yo, he's really like this guy deserves an Academy Award for this shit he's doing, man. Like this is like he's giving Kid Smooth a run for his money. I ain't gonna lie.
Kid Smooth. Kid Smooth said he tweeted he quote tweeted like a post about the Microsoft revenue. They were talking about how the growth was up or down, whatever, and Kid Smooth said it would have been more if it had games. That's what he said.
That's pretty funny.
He said that shit, bro.
Oh man, that's pretty funny. Where my man at? Let me see. Let me see if I can find.
Yeah, Jackie. They're very emotionally attached for some reason.
Like, yo, it's crazy. When I saw this letter and he was proud, I'm thinking, man, he's got to be bullshitting, man. There's no way. Let's see. Let's see man, I can't find it. Did he delete it?
Oh yeah, where is Project Cloud at?
Oh
Caesar asked in the chat.
Oh yeah, let me see. Usually, let me see if he sent the message. Usually, he might send a message if he's unable to attend. No, I didn't get nothing. He's probably busy. Normally, he would just say, if he's not gonna show up or something. He's probably just chilling though. He probably has something to do. Yeah, I would like to get his opinion.
If this deal doesn't go through, I wonder how much it'll erupt over there on the Xbox side in terms of damage controlling.
I agree. I flat said I'm not even gonna, I hope it comes down when I'm at work so that I don't have to deal with it because I won't deal with it at work.
Shit will be,
that's gonna crash, bro.
This acquisition, this shit's got to go through or it's just got to get over like another whole year. But anyway, so this is MLD.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he says, since they asked, here's my email to CMA. So the first part, MLD, I think he's in Canada. I think the UK is like asking for their own citizens what they think. Because, they're there for the UK's consumer interests, not Canada's.
About Canada people.
That's like my first thing. That's the first thing I noticed. Why are North American gamers sending all these emails? Like, because, the CMA, in particular to the UK, they're asking their UK citizens. They don't give a fuck about us Yankees. They're probably over there thinking, why the hell are we getting these emails from these bloody Yanks? Go to your own trade organizations. Mind your goddamn business. They're probably pissed off thinking, oh, here are the Yanks thinking they own the world. I could just imagine getting a flood of emails. But anyway, he says, everyone knows my bias, but even I know that PlayStations are going to die off. Well, we've been on that. They will adapt and endure. I'm pretty sure this is more structured and articulated than the fear-mongering emails from PS4. I don't know about that one. Maybe. But anyway, so this is it right here, right? So first step. Xbox. So I guess this is subject title. Xbox Activision Blizzard acquisition. He doesn't give a greeting. Normally you would give a greeting, but screw etiquette, right? He goes, I am writing as an avid gamer. Like, okay, that doesn't mean much to whoever's reading this, but anyway, and would like you to consider to allow the Xbox acquisition to go through, right? So this is first point. First, more games coming to Game Pass will benefit many gamers, especially in the global economic times. Such value will encourage PlayStation to adapt and compete with their own value proposition. So the first problem with his statement is Game Pass will only benefit the gamers on Game Pass, not many gamers. So that's the first step. It only benefit Game Pass gamers. It won't impact Nintendo gamers.
Yeah.
It won't impact PC gamers that are not on Game Pass, and it won't impact definitely PlayStation gamers, right? And two,
it won't even impact people that are not on Game Pass on Xbox.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't even impact the Xbox gamers that. Yeah, exactly. So that's a false statement. Such value will encourage PlayStation to adapt and compete with their own value proposition. Well, PlayStation already has their own value proposition. So that's already a false. So his first point, it gets demolished. Secondly, PlayStation has largely been the dominant player in gaming since inception. All right, partially true. And their branding coupled with first-party, third-party deals will allow them to withstand anything Xbox or Nintendo do themselves. I mean, okay. I mean, yeah. I think it's pretty safe, all right. The acquisition will allow for more leveling playing field. Let's see. As of now, PlayStation is able to raise console prices and charge more dollar per game with no impact on market share. Well, that's a false assumption because PlayStation probably raised their prices based on inflation. So the consumer market is probably going to be like, that's not a good idea. So so let's say if Call of Duty wasn't on PlayStation, Sony probably still would have not made the thing, like the decision to raise prices. That's an assumption right there. And then finally he goes, in conclusion. So this is where he's supposed to wrap everything all together. He says Xbox getting Activision won't make Xbox a dominant player in consoles. Well, you never made that point in the beginning. But it will allow them to be more evenly matched with the market leader. You didn't talk about that though. So how is this a conclusive point? And you never start a sentence with the word end. That's not how the end works. Like, you did a period. You could have just said while Xbox. Anyway.
Yeah, that's a conjunction.
That's like, this is like third grade. This is like third grade. You never start a sentence with and. That's like, you learned that in third grade. Like, brother, man, what are we doing? And while Xbox will grow in PC, how is this, and mobile, how is this a conclusive point? You never mentioned PC and mobile in your first 3 paragraphs. You're supposed to wrap, your conclusion means you wrap up your first 3 points. You're creating new points now. And while Xbox will grow in PC and mobile, Xbox will still be a minor player in each. How? You never mentioned who are the players in PC and mobile in the first place. And then finally, cloud is still a small market that Xbox has every right to want to grow. What? You never talked about cloud, and the CMA never said that they don't have a right to grow. Unless you're saying cloud can't grow without the Activision deal. But you never mentioned it. Like, this is terrible. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Right now, they would be like, yeah, this is probably like a 7-year-old writing this shit, so we're going to delete this. Yo shit's going into the recycle bin, Ghost. Sorry to say. Yo shit, they're not even going to pass this shit along. That shit's going straight to the recycle bin. Like, sorry, buddy.
Foul 13. Here
like,
comes.
Yeah, this shit. They're gonna be like, yeah, delete. They're like, get out of here.
Nah,
like, this is crazy.
They're gonna keep it and pass it along people so they laugh.
I don't know. This is probably gonna cause like workplace violence. If they get like thousands of emails like that, this shit's gonna make people quit.
There's gonna be a CMA leak of them because they record shit like that, and like the main guy is like looking at his computer and laughing really hard.
Like, look at all
and
these.
It's because he's reading that.
Yeah, they're gonna give emails like this gonna give us North Americans a bad name, bro. We already having it rough. Yeah. Now they're just gonna add to it with all this nonsense. Like, god damn, bro, this dude, bro. Like, yo, at least you're gonna write some shit, do some shit with purpose, bro. Like, write something from your perspective. Don't write bad talking points. Like, all he said was an avid gamer, but yeah, he knows the growth in the industry, who's gonna dominate. Who's like, what? Like, you.
He knows more than
you brought up business strategic points, but you mentioned nothing about you knowing business or whatever. Yo, this shit's going, bro. Oh, I can't. Kubini Gaming. Thank you for the super chat. No games in 2022. Your Xbox is up 29.5% versus Sony down 16.1% for console sales in 2022. 1.1 million difference 22 versus 2021. What's 4 million difference gain ground? Did Sony release their numbers yet?
Yeah, I mean, you got to understand, Microsoft's numbers are up. So Xbox is a write-off. Xbox didn't hit their numbers last quarter, and it did not affect Microsoft stock. I know that because I have it. So they can actually lose money or not meet their expectations, and it doesn't affect Microsoft stock. Number one. Number two, why do you care about stock numbers?
No, I don't think it's stock numbers. I think he's talking about console sales. So I want to know where Sony hasn't released their numbers yet. So I want to know where he got the 1.1 million difference in 2022 versus 2021.
Yeah. Good point.
I know, Kubi, I know these are sales numbers, but where did you get these numbers? Sony hasn't released their quarterly numbers yet. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Sam's
you got numbers. A lot of info.
Oh, it's Brad Sams. He's like an Xbox YouTuber that reports on news.
Brand Sams. How did Brand Sams get the numbers when Sony didn't release their numbers yet?
Yeah.
They haven't done their quarterly thing yet, so what numbers is he using to compare it? Yo, that's what I'm saying.
He's a lawyer for Xbox, actually.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
Oh, fuck.
I misunderstood the question.
Yeah, this is rough. Hey, appreciate it, bro. But anyway, I'm just going to wait till, when Sony comes out. I'm not going to use Brad Sams as the source, especially when Sony hasn't even released their numbers.
Yep.
There you go. So, yo, B-Rock, go to the Iron Lord's message to the CMA. All right, let me see. My boy, Carol Anchor. Brad Sams as a source. Sound the alarm. Let's see. So the Iron Lords. So the Iron Lords, man, but the Iron Lords did like a 10-page thesis. Let me see. Hold on. Let's see the Iron Lords. All right, here we go. Shout out to the Iron Lords, right?
The problem isn't that the sales are up for Xbox. The problem is that you mentioned PlayStation while having no factual statements or evidence because they haven't released the numbers. So you're just making up numbers now.
Yeah.
That's the
so
problem.
Microsoft released their numbers, which I haven't read yet. Of course, I'm going to read it myself. But PlayStation hasn't released their numbers, so I don't know how we could make a comparative system. Especially when Microsoft does not release any numbers on their console. So Sony, I know they will say, hey, we sold X amount of consoles, 10 million, 12 million, 13 million. Microsoft does not. They do percentages. Oh, our consoles went up 16%, but you never know the base number. You never know what that 60% or whatever percentage you give means, like, because you don't have a frame of reference. So there's no way you can say there's a 1 million difference when Microsoft does not say, hey, this is how many consoles we sold. Because you need that number.
I wouldn't be surprised if that increase in percentage is just them catching up to PlayStation.
Probably,
because PlayStation has sold so much more, so it doesn't really mean.
That's why the percentage don't mean nothing, right? You know.
Yeah.
You could say, well, one person sold 29% increase compared to last year, while the other one only did a 15% increase. But what's the base number? You know, if the base number of 29, I'm just making up a number, is 1 million, and the base number of 16% is 5 million, then you know. You just don't, you know. Do you want 29% of $100 or 10% of $1 million? You see what I'm saying? That's why the percentage doesn't mean much unless you know the actual number behind it.
Do you remember that guy who said Game Pass? I paid $1 and then it went up 100%.
Oh yeah,
like that.
That dude said I had. Or was it? Oh man, he paid $10. He's like, I think went up 10,000, like 1,000%. I'm like 1,000% increase, like. Oh no! What he said? He said like
I forgot what it was.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Paid $1 for Game Pass.
He said 1,000%.
He had to pay $10.
He said 1,000%, right? Because I think 1,000% increase of $1 is $10.
Instead of saying
so, homeboy said, now I gotta pay 1,000% increase just to play. What was it? Split screen or co-op?
Halo, yeah.
Just to play co-op,
yeah.
and I'm like, because he talking about. Then I realized he only paid $1 on Game Pass. Now he has to pay $10. I'm like, oh man, if you don't get your ass out of here, motherfucker crying over $10. I was like, yo, this is crazy. But I can't find their article.
Hugh Bain said that Sony has 2 consoles. Yeah, Xbox that has 2 as well. They count them together.
What he's facing?
Yeah, they
what?
Well, I was gonna say, what do y'all think about James Gunn going to go work for Warner Brothers Film? He just took over the DC Cinematic Universe.
Who?
James Gunn.
Oh,
Guardians of the Galaxy. James Gunn.
Oh, that's actually okay. Okay, fine. Oh, well, that's a good move because DC needs help.
The thing is that DC for some reason sometimes. They try to copy Marvel when the best that they do is making gory, dark.
Well, that's the thing. They should have never been Marvel. But I understand they want more kids. I get it. But that's just not DC, man. They just gotta own up to who they are, man.
Yeah.
And it's not like kids still won't see it. Kids are still gonna see it. They just have to own up to it. Okay, so let's see this. This is Iron Lords. Lords that gaming, man. Hell nah, I'm not allowing that. This is an open letter to the CMA. Here we go. Let's see. Disclaimer. The viewpoint expressed below is solely that of the author and does not represent the official position of lordsofgaming.net. All right?
Oh, God.
This week, it goes, this week, the UK's Competition Market Authority invited the public to express its views regarding Microsoft's proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard King. Now, I would assume, since it's the UK, I would think they want to hear opinions from its own citizens. I don't really think they give a shit about the rest of the world, but that's just me. Anyway, I took the opportunity to do so. This letter I sent to them is in its entirety is below. To the Competition Market Authority, I want to begin my remarks by offering thanks to your organization and its members for your diligent effort to ensure the betterment of consumers in the United Kingdom and indeed around the world. I would also like to thank you for allowing the public to share their thoughts on Microsoft's proposed acquisition of Activision Blizzard King. Before sharing my views on this proposed acquisition, I wanted briefly to share my background with the gaming industry to provide context for my remarks and lay bare any biases I may have. I have been a consumer in the gaming industry for well over 20 years. Throughout that time, I have owned multiple consoles manufactured by each of today's leading console makers, Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony. But who do you cap for? Nah, I'm just playing. I'm fucking around. For the last year, I have also served as a writer for the journalistic outlet lordsofgaming.net. At the start of this console generation, I decided to purchase an Xbox Series X over a PS5, having determined that I preferred the value proposition offered by Microsoft's brand as an entry point into this generation of gaming. I anticipate that I will also purchase PS5 before the end of the current generation. All right, so he prefers value over quality. All right, I can respect that. Having said this, I believe the provisional findings from the CMA's Phase 1 review of the merger overstate the likelihood of harm from the acquisition and understate both the likelihood and magnitude of its potential benefits. In my view, the most likely outcome of this acquisition will lead to more robust competition in the gaming industry for the betterment of consumers. Interesting. Let's see how he pulls it through. Impact on console platforms. In his issue statement, the CMA indicates that one of the focuses of his Phase 2 investigation will be the potential harm that may come to Xbox console competitors, particularly PlayStation, should Xbox decide to use its ownership of Activision properties to try to win market share through exclusivity, pricing, or degradation of quality. I agree with the CMA's assertion that Microsoft may have commercial incentives to do this to drive affinity for their platform. With that said, given their public commitments to keep Call of Duty on PlayStation with feature and content parity, it is most probable that they will drive an affinity by adding Activision's catalog and future games to Game Pass, getting the product to consumers at a lower price point. In my reading, this approach would be beneficial for two reasons. Absent the merger, every consumer who desired to play games such as Call of Duty or upcoming Diablo would need to purchase them at full price. After the merger's consummation, that option will remain available to every consumer, but consumers who own an Xbox, a capable PC, or the capability of accessing cloud gaming would also have the option of playing the title through a more inexpensive subscription. 2, over time, this approach may lead to wider adoption of Xbox console platform, tightening the current broadening gap between Microsoft and Sony's market share, and more importantly, market power. If the competition between the two console manufacturers were closer in the future, this will benefit consumers. I will provide just one example why below, as I am confident other respondents will provide others. One of the ways in which the magnitude of Sony's current market lead harms consumers is an inability to secure full or time exclusive from third-party developers and publishers. Due to the commanding market lead it has gained over the past 9 years, Sony is capable of securing favorable conditions on these deals in a way that Microsoft cannot. The reason is simply arithmetic. To convince a third-party partner to enter into the exclusive agreement, Sony must offer the partner more money than it will expect to lose by not releasing on Xbox, or by releasing on Xbox a year or more later. Microsoft, of course, would have to do the same. However, this is typically only viable for Sony due to the drastic difference in the install base of their platform. For a total combined install base of 150 plus million, compared to Xbox 60-70 million, the circumstances in which such an agreement is commercially viable for Sony are far broader than they are for Microsoft. While this is a legitimate business practice and part of Sony's strategy for driving affinity for its consoles, it brings harm to any consumer without a PlayStation platform. Absent such agreements, I would have been able to play games such as Final Fantasy Remake, Bloodborne, Marvel Spider-Man on my Xbox. Instead, I had to purchase a PlayStation 4. Others of lesser means simply could not play them. With the competition between the two consoles closer, such delirious exercise of market power would be rare and more costly. This is just one of the examples of how closer competition between manufacturers would be welfare enhancing. Impact on multi-game subscription service. Holy shit, how big is this article? Oh my god, you guys. Alright, the CMA is making prudent decision to investigate whether Game Pass, arguably the multi-game subscription service with the strongest reputation in the gaming industry today, will also be strengthened by the addition of Activision Blizzard King's catalog as to foreclose current and future competitors. However, I believe a thorough investigation will lead to the conclusion that this addition of Game Pass, albeit considerable, will not lead to a substantial lessening of competition in the gaming market. This is for two reasons. First, for the foreseeable future, the success of subscription services will be constrained by the competition with buy-to-play and free-to-play games. If, for example, Microsoft raised the price of Game Pass to $30 per month post-acquisition, consumers like myself would likely to unsubscribe and instead purchase the games we want to play a la carte. This distribution models are alternatives available to consumers. With that said, even in a hypothetical scenario where one firm's subscription service becomes dominant over its competitor services, it does not follow that the firm would wield undue market power. That firm will still need to compete on price, quality, and other fronts. Second, even with the addition of Activision Blizzard King, Microsoft will not be the only firm capable of bringing a compelling subscription service to market. Both of its current major console competitors have a significant trove of intellectual properties and franchises that could provide a strong foundation for a competitor to Game Pass. Indeed, Sony has already taken meaningful steps towards competing directly with Game Pass and restructuring its PlayStation Plus service. In a hypothetical future in which subscriptions become the dominant way consumers choose to access games, competitors such as Sony and Nintendo could leverage their properties, partnerships from third-party developers and publishers, and acquisitions of their own to compete directly with Microsoft Game Pass offering. The direct competition would benefit consumers on every platform. Impact on cloud gaming. Jesus. Finally, the CMA communicated in its filing that it is also exploring whether the merger could negatively impact the future of cloud gaming. Further, the authority indicated that a particular concern in whether Microsoft's multi-product ecosystem may give an insurmountable advantage over current and future competitors. This is another well-reasoned line of inquiry. However, to my mind, the dangers of regulating on these grounds are greater in likelihood and scope than potential benefits. In my view, cloud gaming is so new and unproven as a consumer product that regulators should be very cautious about using their power in ways that might artificially prevent its growth. While cloud gaming is currently only used by a small percentage of gamers as technology, it has the potential to bring considerable benefits to consumers, developers, and publishers. Even now, it can reduce current points of friction, preventing consumers from accessing high-quality games, such as the need to buy expensive consoles, PCs, or in some cases, even controllers. Microsoft is also currently using its cloud ecosystem to reduce pain points for developers through efforts such as ID at Azure program. If the CMA prevents the consummation of this acquisition, it may significantly stamp consumers' adoption of this technology and thereby either delay or prevent the benefits it brings to the industry. Additionally, while the CMA rightly notes that Microsoft has a potential advantage in any future of cloud gaming market due to its multi-product ecosystem, I think its concerns about the advantage are misplaced. To begin, I do not think one could reasonably argue that its advantage is so great as to potentially prevent other players from being able to compete meaningfully. Second, more importantly, the same factors that give Microsoft an advantage in cloud competition could also be described as efficiencies. As a member of the CMA will know, market efficiencies, including digital market, tend to benefit consumers, as eliminating costs in supply chain most often leads to lower prices for consumers. Okay. However, the CMA may not be aware that there is an analog for this in the recent history of the gaming industry. Throughout the past console generation, there was a dramatic shift in the consumer trends. Namely, a significant majority of consumers now purchase games digitally rather than physically. To my mind, the primary reason for this are market efficiencies and a reduction of friction. Developers, publishers reduce costs by physically manufacturing and shipping fewer discs. In these cases, also delivering content directly to consumers' homes removes the need for third-party retailer. These reduced costs are often passed along to consumers in the form of more frequent dramatic sales than one would find at a physical retailer. That is a lie. That is not true at all. These reduced prices combined with the convenience of the ability simply to download a game from your couch have led consumers broadly to prefer digital as a means of product delivery or physical. That Microsoft has a multi-product ecosystem that it may leverage to strengthen its offerings for cloud gaming means that its efficiencies that other firms may not. If that leads to Microsoft being the market leader in the future of cloud gaming, that can only be because Microsoft uses those efficiencies to pass on value to subscriptions. That's not true at all. Conclusion, as a consumer who would directly immediately benefit from the completion of this transaction, I ask the CMA to consider carefully the various efficiencies of consumer welfare enhancing results in the merger as it continues facing investigation. I am confident that in your investigation, you'll go to many of the same conclusions I have. Most likely not. So this is the problem I have to his letter. All right. The impact of console platform, I can see Call of Duty. I can see Call of Duty helping Microsoft be more competitive and bring more parity. And he is right on the first paragraph that Microsoft having more parity in the console market would make it tougher for Sony to get these third-party deals and stuff like that. Okay? My problem is, though, while this will make it difficult for Sony for third-party deals, Microsoft would then have the advantage now because Microsoft will not have parity and they have more money to outbid Sony on almost every game. You see what I'm saying? Right now, the only strength Sony had isn't the dollar or the money. It's because of their first party, because of their higher quality, people buy PlayStation because of the quality. Microsoft is taking Call of Duty and all these games, which is already established IPs, putting an advantage to themselves. Sure, they'll have market parity now or close to market parity with console sales, but Microsoft has the $2 trillion advantage. So now where the consoles are the same, now Microsoft has the buying power. So now the edge goes to them. So it's like we're back at square one. The only thing is it's flip side now. But then no one's going to have a problem if you're on the Microsoft side. Then it's okay for one side to have the advantage over the other. But surely on the strength of money, not on the strength of creativity or actually developing a proper brand name. You understand what I'm saying? Because Sony didn't get to a spot simply by money having it. They don't have as much money as anybody else. You know, a lot of it is just on eye and talent. Hell, as we, you know, I was talking with Call Me Jay, some of the stuff, if Microsoft was smarter from the get-go, they would have built just a powerful brand. But they made piss poor decisions that bit them in the ass in the long run. They had the opportunity to get Grand Theft Auto from the get-go. Rockstar went to them first. They said no. Marvel went to Microsoft first for Spider-Man. They said no. Genshin Impact. They said no. Now apparently Resident Evil 4, they could have had that as exclusive. They said no. They kept saying no to some of the biggest IPs out there, which never really truly established, you know, their household name. Sure, they did some good decisions. Like Gears of War was a great decision. Halo was a great decision. But imagine the OG Xbox having Halo, Resident Evil 4, and Grand Theft Auto exclusive. Now we're talking a whole different history now. The timeline changes. That's a whole new ball game. That's a whole new different console when you think about it.
Yeah. They also fumbled the ball with Rare. When they bought Rare, they could have just let Rare make more badass Nintendo 64 like games, but they instead put them on making Kinect ass games that nobody wanted to play.
But you know, think about that. Imagine an OG Xbox. I want you to picture this OG Xbox. You got Halo, which was a phenom, and then they announced Resident Evil 4 like at an E3, and it's exclusive. And then they announced Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto 3, in my opinion, alone won the war for PlayStation 2. That shit sold like 30, 40 million. Everybody was going around beating down hookers, you know, after they picked them up. Everybody was going around. I mean, it created so many serial killers. You know, everybody went to go around and beat down a hooker and rob people. You know what I'm talking about, right? Everybody did that shit. Everybody pulled down, hooker goes inside the car. You see the car jumping. Then the hooker walks away. You get out the car and you bash her head in and get your money back. Everybody was doing that shit. Everybody was doing that, right?
Yeah.
Yo,
2 for 1, baby.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know? I can't even picture a world where the OG Xbox would have had Halo, RE4, and Grand Theft Auto, and then 2 years later, Vice City, and then San Andreas exclusive.
San Andreas.
The
holy
shit. RE4 would have looked a lot better and more gorier because the Xbox was more powerful.
And the controllers would have been better than that GameCube.
Yeah, they could have had Mass Effect too. They turned BioWare down.
No, they got. Well, they did have Mass Effect. They had Mass Effect. They had Mass Effect.
They put that game out. Yeah, they published that, but BioWare went to them to be purchased.
Oh,
and
really?
They said no.
Oh, so then EA bought them.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying?
They told them to go kick some rocks. So when EA got them, EA brought the Mass Effect games.
Now here's where I disagree with another point. He says, first, foreseeable future, the success of subscriptions will be constrained by the competition with buy-to-play and free-to-play games. If, for example, Microsoft raised the price of Game Pass to $30 per month post-acquisition, consumers like myself would likely unsubscribe. That's not a lie. That's a lie. Like, look how many times Netflix raised the price. Look how many times, you know, HBO raised the price. Disney's raising the price. Like, once you locked in, you're not leaving because you're so used to, like, think about it. There's people who've been on Game Pass, like, right from the get-go for the last 5 years. They stopped buying games. They have nothing. Yeah. If you shut down Game Pass now, a lot of these gamers have no games. Literally. They have a console and they can't play nothing or very few because they bought very little content.
That's true.
They're completely relying on Game Pass. They're like, you guys are locked in. You guys are stuck. From the moment a lot of these gamers decide to go with Game Pass and says, I ain't buying no games. I get it on Game Pass. I'll wait for Game Pass. Over time, you didn't build up your library. So one day, Game Pass going away, you look at your console and you be like, holy shit, I got no games. I didn't buy nothing. I didn't have nothing. You understand what I'm saying? So these guys are not going to, very few people are going to leave with price increases. They're just not. You guys probably won't even notice. The average casual probably won't even notice the price increase. It's just going to keep going and going. It's just like Netflix, just like Disney Plus. It's just going to keep going, right? And now when you think about it, the distribution models are, the alternatives, there isn't really that many alternatives to compete. In order to have a true competitive market, you got to have alternatives. There's really no alternative to Game Pass. Not even PlayStation PS Plus is not true.
I could be wrong, but he also talked about this whole thing in a scenario where Call of Duty would stay on PlayStation indefinitely. They would just get extra perks if you're on Xbox. Which in reality, what Xbox wants to do is take away Call of Duty from the console, from PlayStation itself, and have all those people go to Xbox.
Yeah, we already know that they're just gonna extend the deal. I think now it's more specific to 2027. Oddly enough, when you think about it, Microsoft's going to leave this gen alone because this gen's a wrap. Everybody's buying PlayStation. That shit's the hottest item. Microsoft knows they cannot. That freight train is going 1,000 miles a second. There's no stopping that train. If you try to do it, you're just going to get ran the fuck over and obliterated. Microsoft knows that. So Microsoft's going to leave Call of Duty on PlayStation this gen alone and absorb all that money. Get all that revenue, right? But when the next generation starts, 2027, 2028, it's ball game. It's a whole new ball game. When it comes to the PlayStation 6, guess what? There is no PlayStation 6 console sales. It's starting from scratch. So before the consoles, when the consoles get announced, before the console sales even begin, Microsoft's going to announce, hey, Call of Duty, hey, the next Xbox exclusive. It will not be on PlayStation 6. That will change the dynamic of the next generation because it hasn't started yet. No one has invested in the PlayStation 6 yet. It's a whole new ground zero type scenario. They literally
did for PS4 when they announced exclusive content for PS4. Everybody moved from Xbox 360 to PS4.
Exactly, because nobody owned the next generation platforms, right? So the 360 gamers that were all about Call of Duty and want that DLC day one, it started over. They didn't invest in the next generation yet. So Microsoft's going to use this to influence the next generation of console, which is fine. I'm not saying it's not a big deal. But, there's a lot of assumptions. Now, the biggest thing is cloud gaming, right? Negatively impact the future of cloud gaming. Let me see what he still says. All right. This right here says, further, the authority indicated that particular concern is whether Microsoft's multi-product ecosystem may give an insurmountable advantage over current and future competitors. This is another well-reasoned line of inquiry. However, to my mind, the dangers of regulating on these grounds. The reality is when it comes to cloud gaming, this acquisition, you're pretty much not going to get a lot of competitors in cloud gaming. I mean, I don't really give a shit, so I don't really care about cloud gaming. It's not my big deal. But let's not pretend if Microsoft buys this acquisition, you're not going to get much competitors in cloud gaming. You already saw Stadia failed, and they have Google. Google has crazy money. So who else is left? The only one left is either Amazon and Apple. And Apple's not, I don't know if Apple's interested. I don't know. I haven't really read up on it. There's really not that many players when you think about it, right? Let's say I had aspirations to provide Porter Rock Pass. I'm out here. I'm going to provide Porter Rock Pass. I'm going to hook you guys up. Portal Pass. You're going to get that Portal Pass, baby. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of sazon to this service, right? I'm going to spread it worldwide. In fact, I have the advantage because since I'm not a cloud provider, all I got to do is contract cloud providers to help me push Portal Pass. So I have a deal with Amazon over here. I have a deal of Tencent in the Asian, in Asia, I'll use, I can even use Microsoft own shit. Microsoft in these areas, I can get the best cloud providers in each region to provide the best service to all of y'all. I am not pigeonholed to one cloud provider. I can pick all the ones I want to get what I want to provide the best service to you. Portal Pass is the future. And I'm like, yep, now I'm going to get these contracts with all these third parties so I could put it on Portal Pass. I'm like, all right, let me get Bethesda. Oh, shit. Bethesda's gone. All right, cool. Let me get Bungie. Okay, Bungie's with Sony. All right, let me get Activision. All right, you guys are gone. Then who the fuck I got left? Namco Bandai? Like, who am I going to start a business with? Like, who? Like, the fuck? I'm a contract that guy who's made the Dolphin Fish game? Like, who I'm going to use? Everybody's taking all the big players.
Yeah, they're off the field.
Like, who I'm going to use? Tencent's gobbling everybody. Fucking, what's the other one? NetEase or whoever?
NetEase.
NetEase is another one. Embracer Group. Like, how is Portal Pass going to come out for you guys so I can give you the best deals and the best service? Because my plan is, you know what? I'm going to use the best cloud provider in each region that will give you the best connection, best connectivity. Because I am not a cloud provider myself. I just need to pay and rent service. And it's always going to give you the best features for your region. But how I'm going to do it? I ain't got no goddamn games. Like, what games am I supposed to put on? Fucking I can't even do Candy Crush. That's Activision too. Like, what the fuck is left? Like, fuck this. I'm not doing this cloud shit. Never mind, I'm out. Not doing cloud. Look at it from a movie perspective, right? The reason why the movie grew to so many streaming services because all the movie titles are actually owned by so many different people. You understand what I'm saying? Paramount owns their own, Sony owns their own, Warner Brothers own their own, all these players. But imagine if movies was owned by third party and Netflix came in and acquired all these third parties. then how would Paramount have their own streaming service? How would HBO have their own streaming service? How would Disney Plus have their own streaming service or whatever, right? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nobody would even bother because it's like almost all this shit is taken and stuff like that. So the future of cloud and services, you're not going to get a lot of people. You're just not. Think about it. If Microsoft gets Activision, that's going to signal the people who would get involved to be like, unless I have the money to buy a whole bunch of people, which is probably already too late because, again, Embracer Group is huge. Tencent bought a lot of people, right?
Yeah, they're still buying.
Like
they're just
who?
gobbling up
Yeah,
everything.
like who is left? So it's like, there's no way I would try to do to provide a subscription service or get into cloud gaming. Like, hell nah. There's nobody for me to use, you know? And you can't say, oh, build first party, because that takes a long time to build a proper first party to actually provide the games that people want. You're going to go through a lot of flops before you get those big hits, you know? And you're not going to have that much first party. That's why you have the third party, because the publishers already have multiple studios. So you're going to go with deals with them. Like, yo, I'm creating a streaming service. Let's make a deal. Blah, blah, blah. Hey, let's make a deal with you. Blah, blah, blah. Let's make a deal with you. And you get all these guys. But when they're all being buying off, I wouldn't invest in cloud. I'd be like, nah, there's nobody there. There's nobody left. So I'm not going to.
By the way,
I'm going
to interject, but B Stables and Project Cloud have been here for a while.
Oh, shit.
No, I just joined. I have not been. Well, I just joined like 5 minutes ago.
Let me see. Okay.
But I don't know about Project Cloud.
I'm gonna get Project Cloud. Let me make my last point. Let me see one more point, and then I'm gonna turn it over to you guys. So that's how it is, you know. I mean, at the end of the day, this is the reality. This deal will benefit the Xbox gamers who are on Game Pass. That's really it, right? And this deal will screw over the PlayStation gamers who play Call of Duty on PlayStation, at least for the next generation. I think this generation they're safe, right? But if people really are concerned beyond those two reasons, if there's fake concerns, because I think the concern is fake. I don't think anybody really gives a shit about cloud, right? Or the future of subscriptions as a competitor, right? If people are really concerned about other competitors in the cloud space or in the multi-subscription space, then these acquisitions ain't good because there's nothing there for competitors to use. There's nothing left. There's nothing to the table. Like, what can they use to advertise? You know, imagine me coming up with Portal Pass and people like, hey, yo, you got Madden? Nah, these people bought it. Hey, you got Call of Duty? I ain't got that either. What the fuck do you have? Ratatouille. Ain't nobody give a fuck about that. Like, what you want me to say? Like, what can I provide to y'all that hasn't been taken away? Ain't nobody give a damn. Like, you want me to be the ninth service that provides, you know, Fortnite? Like, you already have all that. Like, there's, you know, like me, I don't really care about this, but people are deluding themselves thinking that this will open up competition with her competition. What this will do is, this will help Microsoft be closer to Sony. That's absolutely true. This will benefit Game Pass players. Absolutely true. This could potentially screw over PlayStation Call of Duty gamers, just specifically them. That is also potentially true, right? But if everybody cares about this market, which I'll be honest, I don't think anybody does. I don't think anybody really gives a fuck. I don't think, you know, if cloud gaming completely fails, I don't think anybody would miss it. I don't think anybody would be like, oh, well. It's like 3D TV, in my opinion. It sounds great, but once it's gone, nobody really gave a shit about, right? But if everybody's pretending,
that was a big time fad, yeah.
If everybody's really pretending to care about cloud, this acquisition is not going to help, because this is just going to signal all the people that could have get in the business of cloud gaming to add competition, to add variety. That's going to tell them, I can't unless I have Google money. And even then, Google failed. Stadia failed. They couldn't do it. So if they can't do it, then who the fuck can? Portal Pass will never happen. Sorry. It's not going to happen. It's just not. You understand what I'm saying? But boy, Project Cloud. And we're going to use your name. What do you think about all this?
You there?
Nope. All right, let me read the super chats off before they disappear, and then we'll get to. He says, Kubini Gaming. Pull up Brad's video 62 mark for $5. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna just read his stuff. I'll do a hot take, but I gotta see Sony numbers. Bobo Country, did you see the new Redfall? Bethesda deserves Xbox. No, I haven't seen it. They look bad. I hope not.
Redfall looks fire.
You know, I hope it doesn't look bad. You Cloak Onyx, you seen the new trailer or something? New trailer's out?
Yeah, there's a new trailer talking about Redfall.
Oh, does it look like
I
Diabetic
haven't
Gaming?
seen it yet. No, I haven't seen it yet.
I'm gonna look at it.
Diabetic Gaming.
Yeah, but no, it looked interesting. No, I ain't gonna lie. Redfall did look interesting. I thought it was cool. Cloak Onyx. He said, it's sad that Stadia is shutting down. Destiny 2 ran much better on Stadia compared to any game streaming service, even console streaming.
Agree.
Yeah, I heard about that. But the thing is, you had like 10 people that would agree with you. And Call Me Jay's one of them. So there's 9 more left out there.
Yeah.
That's the problem. No one really cares. But anyway, so project. If not, I'm going to push it over to B Staples.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Okay. Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
And I was waiting for like half an hour, and you called my name out, and I was speaking. You couldn't hear me. It's like, oh shoot.
Oh, we didn't hear you.
That was a waste of time.
Do you guys hear him? I didn't hear him.
I didn't hear you. No.
Oh shit.
No, it was my browser was acting a little goofy. I just had to restart that. So
okay, all right. So what are you thinking about all this?
Yeah, I mean, cloud gaming is kind of dead. That being said, yeah, I know, right? I mean,
and his name is Project Cloud. So you heard it first.
Cloud gaming's dead. But having said that, I still think it's a market to keep an eye on. But that doesn't mean it's gonna get anywhere. I think it's kind of like VR right now. I think it will eventually like become quite dominant. I mean, I shouldn't say dominant necessarily, but like very relevant. Right now, it's just
Don't
like,
compare
well,
it to VR. Don't compare it to VR.
Well, here's why I'm going to say that, because I'll just be honest with you, VR is kind of dead too. Now,
it's not. It's not. Incorrect.
Well, let me explain myself here.
Okay. Are you talking about PlayStation VR sales numbers, games?
I'm talking about the VR market in general.
Okay.
Like, yes, I mean it's a thing, but at the end of the day, like Facebook and PlayStation, like they don't make money off VR. That's not what they're. It's just something that they're investing in because they think in the future it's going to be like much more relevant. The problem is it's a thing you put on your head, and I think unless you get it down to like glasses sized or I don't know, like safety glass size or whatever, I don't.
You just sound like you don't know what you're talking about, honestly.
Listen, we're gonna have to rename you Project VR, bro. All right. Okay. No, but I'm no. Give your opinion. Give your perception, because really, I think you're doing something that's perception based.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's all I got. That's all I got is my perception.
At least you admit it, man. You the man, bro.
That's all I got. I mean, look. I don't know if you're an avid VR user, like, and you want to defend, like,
listen, bro. No. So okay, I'm defending it using facts. The Quest has sold millions, and there's like 10 plus games on the Quest store that has sold millions as well. Like it is a booming. It's look it up on Amazon. It's constantly on the top 5 numbers of video game, like the things that people want. It's on that list.
It ain't enough. It ain't enough
for you, but you also don't. You don't partake in VR as much as I do, so you're talking like you don't. You're talking like you know, but you don't really know.
What I'm saying is there is a growing audience for it. What I'm still saying is, in comparison to a traditional console,
you can't compare it though. It's not the same thing.
Can.
No,
exactly.
VR is not. VR isn't a replacement for consoles. Just like console isn't a replacement for PC or anything like that. They're separate things. They can't be compared. They're gaming platforms, yes, but they're not doing the same thing.
Yeah, so you gotta look at it more like you gotta look more at like you gotta look at it like handheld gaming, right? Like handheld gaming isn't replacing consoles.
Yeah, how is PlayStation 5 selling 10 million units, 10 million consoles good, but a Quest selling 10 million VR headsets not good? What do you mean?
Very well.
Okay. How I mean, there are supply constraints.
Okay, but that doesn't answer my question. How is the PlayStation selling 10 million a good thing, but a Quest 2 selling 10 million not?
First of all, I don't even know what the real number on the PlayStation 5 is right now. I know
it sold a lot, but let's just say, okay, let's say the PlayStation 4 then. How is 10 million PS4s a good thing, but 10 million Quest 2 is not?
Okay, so here's the better. Okay, now you're bringing a more relevant comparison. So I would say, because the PS4 is like a much more mature market, you got 116 million plus consoles sold. compare 100 million plus to 10 million Quest, if that's even the number. And I'm saying.
So I'll use this. Let me use this.
If a PS4 came out, right, and in 2 years it sold 10 million,
we won't even use PS4, right? We'll use this
in 2 years.
No, we'll use
in
this.
2 years of PS4. Let's say it sold 10 million.
No, let's do for comparison, because the Quest 2 came out in October, Xbox Series platforms came out in November, and they're both at 15 million units approximately. So if one's bad, let's say Quest, then what does that say about the Xbox Series platform? Well, are they selling bad?
So I focus on units, and my preference is to compare a PS4 compared to, because then obviously a Quest 2, like whatever that just came out, whatever model. So yeah, that's gonna have momentum. PS4 is old, that's the sales for that literally are slowing. So I think here's what I'm basically saying. Like, I don't see a Quest 2 getting to even 50 million units.
No, but what I'm saying is, hold on.
I agree. But I agree 100%. I agree 100%.
Well, here's the things. Right now, all we got is what we got right now, right? Quest came out in 2020 in October, right? And then in November, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series platform came out, right? Those are the new items for the generation. The Quest has been keeping up pretty much with the Xbox Series platform, which is a well-named, well-known console that's powered by Game Pass. They have a $299 option. So, so wouldn't the Quest 2 be considered like, wait a minute, this is actually, especially given that the VR market is niche and or new, you can say. It doesn't have 20-year history like the Xbox brand does. Xbox is back with 20 years of history. VR isn't, in terms of being where it's at now. It's selling almost as much as an Xbox Series platform globally. Okay. You understand what I'm saying? So you don't consider that like, wait a minute, that's actually, because in my eyes, VR and cloud, VR made much more strides than cloud gaming.
When the news,
it's not even close.
When Christmas came around on Amazon, at least the Quest 2 was beating Nintendo Switches and PlayStations and Xbox consoles when it came to the most desired product in video games on that category. This VR headset that you think it's not doing well, it was beating all these known platforms.
Well, bravo. So here's what I'm saying. Look, when it comes to the units argument, I'm going to argue PS4 in comparison to whatever VR headset you want to put out there. Okay. So that's my take on it is, if you're going to compare, PlayStation 5 sales or Xbox Series sales, to me it's like, it's interesting. That's an interesting factoid, but that's just not where my mindset is for this. But here's the more telling thing for me, perhaps, is AAA VR games. I'm sorry, but there's only been a very small handful, and even then, it's like,
I agree.
Medal of Honor, for example. Again, I'm looking forward to playing that game. Hopefully, that's going to come to PSVR too. But you know what? It didn't get such great reviews, and you know what? It's probably my type of game, to be honest with you.
It's all right. It's all right.
But it's like it wasn't really a successful AAA game. And that was a AAA
because it wasn't a very good VR game. That's why it wasn't a very good made VR game. It was the developer's fault, not the platform's fault.
But here's what I'm saying: is regardless of where you place blame, I'm sorry, the quality you can get on a console is far much more reliable, far much more straightforward.
Well, you're talking about subjective
but one
now.
is not competing with the other.
Well,
like
sure.
again, no, VR is not. How is VR competing with console when Sony themselves are creating VR? Are you saying they're trying to create their own competitor?
What I'm saying is that VR games, look, and I appreciate all of, whether you're talking the more indie VR games that are great, or Half-Life Alyx that's fantastic. Whatever's great is great, but I'm just saying that you're just going to find a lot more higher quality. Okay, maybe that's the wrong terminology. But what I believe is there's a much more abundance of quality that you can just go get on a console compared to a VR.
Of course.
But they're not. But yeah,
I'm agreeing with you, but you cannot compare them like that because they're not the same thing.
But here's think of it this way. Think about the consumer proposition. You have 100 great games on one system, 10 great games on another system. Which one do you want? Well,
No,
it's a pretty
so
obvious choice.
here's what you're not here's what you're not understanding.
I
The
only
Quest
have
or hold on.
$500.
The
I can't
Quest.
go-
Oh, okay. If you don't have a
I'm
next
talking-
generation console, you're probably gonna buy a next generation console instead of something you've never tried, like a VR headset, right? Because you can't sell someone VR if you should just show them videos. You have to put the headset on to know what it's about. So obviously, someone that doesn't have a next gen console and sees VR as well is probably gonna buy even a Series S over a Quest 2, obviously. But we're not talking about the consoles versus the VR because they're not the same thing. They were never made to compete with each other. It's not supposed to replace. The Quest 2 is what a Switch is to a PlayStation or an Xbox user. It's just a secondary thing that they can get and just play on.
And get a different experience that
well,
you
here's
can't
what I'm
get
saying.
stuff.
Now, this might sound odd to you, but and obviously Sony isn't going to think of it like this, but honestly, what Netflix, the way they used to sort of talk was our competitor is time. And now they're actually saying, different streaming services are their competition. But my point is, whatever is not VR is competing with VR. In this sense, console gaming, is the most direct competitor per se in PC gaming and, Switch gaming and whatever. So I know you're just thinking like, well, it's a different category. Yes, it is a different category, but it's also a category that isn't as prevalent or isn't as successful unit-wise, number of games, number of high-quality games.
It's sold more than 10 million units. Isn't that successful?
Well,
15,
again,
it's
I'm
15
not
million.
saying it isn't.
You're comparing
but I'm
it.
saying
You said you're comparing it to a PlayStation. Are you talking about PlayStation 4 now with 100+ million units?
Yeah, like I said, that's
Okay. So
So
by
hold
that
on,
logic,
hold
the
on,
Xbox
hold on,
is-
hold on.
the Xbox
Why
has
are
been
you
a failure always?
why are you comparing VR with the Quest 2 that came out in 2020 with a console that came out in 2013 and had like 8 years of sales? That doesn't make sense.
okay. Well, the Quest 2 isn't going to have a lifespan as long as the PS4, right?
There's a lot of consoles.
No.
There's a lot of consoles that don't have the lifespan of a PS4.
That's the point.
You know what I'm saying?
Those headsets. I mean, I don't know how long it takes for them to the cadence of between that and whatever's going to be the next generation or whatever previously succeeded. Quest 1 or whatever.
Yeah.
But look, it's I mean, probably 3 years max.
3 years max for what?
I mean, between platforms. I mean, I'm sorry,
But you're just guesstimating.
So what do you
You're
mean 3 years max
okay,
for what? 3 year max for what?
This would have been a more interesting conversation if you actually were talking about things that you actually knew. But you're just guessing everything. Every word that you speak is just a guess.
Okay.
I'm confused.
I'm
so
talking about
because you bring up VR, but it's like I thought you knew you were talking about the 2020, and in 2 years it sold more than 10 million units.
And then, is there a new model that just came out or something?
No, it's the same one, same old model from 2020.
And then when was the previous?
And what in 2019? It was the first Quest.
Okay. So it took them 10.
Bone Lab just came out.
10 million units.
Bone Lab just came out. It's a
But
VR only game that's fully physics based.
Well, here you go. So MetaQuest, the most successful VR headset to date, with nearly 15 million units since its announcement on Facebook, since September 2020, and this was June. So just under 2 years. So under 2 years.
They're not adding the Quest 1.
So yeah, this is not adding the Quest 1. This is Quest 2. This is Quest 2. So they released. So they released in September 2020, reached 15 million in June 2022. So that's less than 2 years. They sold 15 million.
It's a quick lesson about the VR whole thing. Quest 1 was supposed to be a test to see what people actually wanted, and people went with the Quest 1. So they made the Quest 2 with the latest and greatest chip, and they sold it. That's it. So the Quest 1 is just a test.
I mean, 15 million units in 2 years. That's great. That's
really good.
That's like faster than most consoles in the gaming industry. There's only a few consoles. There's only a few consoles that can say they sold 15 million in under 2 years, and one of them is the PlayStation, the Switch, the Wii. None of the Sega consoles has ever done that. I don't think any Xbox other than the Xbox Series, assuming it reached 15 million, can claim that. 360 can't claim that. Xbox One can't claim that. OG Xbox can't claim that. I can name you more consoles that didn't do that. N64 never did that. GameCube never did that. TurboGrafx 16 never did that. None of the Genesis consoles, Sega consoles ever did that. unless it's Switch, Wii,
okay, so
or PlayStation.
Let's just say these numbers are impressive. Let's just say this is impressive numbers.
They are impressive numbers.
I mean,
They are.
but
15 million units
like I just said,
in under 2 years isn't impressive. What?
Let's just say that's impressive.
Okay.
All right. Games they're not cutting it. They're not compelling enough. There's not
for you. Okay, let me counter that. Let me counter that. There's one game that came out a few weeks ago called Bone Lab, which is very like not VR friendly in terms of the immersion. You have to be a veteran basically to play this game because you get nausea. It sold 1 million in 1 hour of it coming out. That's not impressive?
I would say this.
Where's this year's Call of Duty on?
I think Project Cloud views something. It's like me with the Switch.
It's just respectfully he's being ignorant about it. He doesn't really know what he's talking about.
No, I'm saying the Switch. The Switch is because I got a Switch, but it's not for me.
What I know is
hold up.
It doesn't have the games.
What I'm saying, it's like Switch. Like Switch doesn't really have the games for me, right? But that doesn't stop me from recognizing that the Switch is a popular ass product and very successful, even though it doesn't have what I want. But I recognize like this thing's the hotness. You can it's like it's the hotness. This is the wave and stuff like that. It's just not the wave for me. You understand what I'm saying? Like the VR, since it's new and mature, right? It just may not be interesting to you because you prefer something else. But VR has gained ground because in its own right, what we're trying to say is VR provides an experience that the consoles do not provide. Like for example, I played Resident Evil 7 in VR. It blows out playing it the regular way. Completely. The immersion you get VR is not even close. Some people thought I wasn't even going to play it because it's off of the immersion. Because of the immersion, how scary it is and stuff like that. It absolutely obliterates the console, playing it on console. Just completely, it's a whole new different game. If you play Resident Evil on VR, obviously some people get sick. I understand that. I mean, there's all, it is what it is. But if you don't get sick, you don't nothing, and you play Resident Evil VR, it completely blows out the console version or the PC version on a regular screen. It's a whole different ball game on that one. It's absolutely amazing.
The whole thing about people getting sick, I mean, but let's be honest here, that is a big problem for VR to be able to truly grow to mass scale.
That's not a VR problem, though.
Of course it is.
It's not. There's millions of people. There's 10 million plus people that have a Quest 2 and they don't get nausea playing.
I mean, I see that. To me, people getting sick in VR is the same thing where you see the warning, flashes of light can cause epilepsy. Yeah. That's the same thing to me. There's just some people that's going to get sick playing this medium. I don't get sick.
I know people that have been on VR since 2018 and they still play it, but they still get sick because they enjoy it. They just do it.
Yeah, man, that should be funny.
They're not vomiting all over the place, but they stop whenever they need to. But they still play because they still enjoy it.
All right,
it's just something that some people just
VR hijacked the podcast. All right. So anyway, let's finish up on the cloud because that's the first thing we get these super chats. Borbor said, Redfall vampire low poly with laser coming out of forehead instead of eyes. Must be the Series S version, another 410. That'll get a 9 from reviews. Oh, snap. Andrew Wilkins. Cloud's wrong. Tesla is successful and their cars malfunction at times. If people trust AI to drive them, then people will put headsets over their eyes to game. All right. The Ruham, my brother, says, what's up, my brother P-Rock? Hope all is good with you. It is, my brother. It is, my brother. I'm glad you came through. Another super chat from the Ruham. He says, VR became popular in the pandemic because people had another way of meeting up with each other without being around each other physically, if that makes sense. Ah, shit. Ruham out here promoting VR sex. He out here stroking. Oh, shit. Ruham, you perv. What's going on here? My man promoting VR sex. He out here. He hitting on chicks. Oh, shit. He got his E game. He got his E pimp on. Damn. Now, shout out to Ruham.
E-boy.
Oh, shit. My man E-pimping out here, bro. He was pimping out in the pandemic. Oh, snap. He's like, that's why he put that last part. If that makes sense. My man was pimping. My man got that, boy. Shout out to Ruham. But anyway, so my final points for the cloud. What did you think about this whole cloud mess with the CMA letter, all that stuff, cloud? Because then I'm going to bring it back to B. Staples. Because B. Staples is going to read off the letter he wrote. I don't think B. Staples heard me.
I did hear you.
He's thinking, B. Staples like, how he know? You're gonna read that letter, B Staples, live on the air. I want to hear it.
Is it my turn yet?
You know what? Go ahead, B Staples. Wait, hold on, Cloud.
So,
you made your point. I don't know. I know we.
I guess he'll come back. Like if he comes back, I'll just
all right, he'll
let
come
him
back. All
finish.
right. I think something happened to Cloud. He got his mic muted.
So first and foremost, I did not write a letter.
Stop
I am
lying,
not writing a letter
Staples.
to
Why are you
anybody.
lying, bro? Read that shit.
I
Read
do
that
not
shit,
need
bro.
to write no letter to nobody. I let
Staples.
these $1 million.
Why
Listen,
are you here then?
Stop
Why are you
lying,
here?
bro. Look at the chat.
The people,
the
the people here wrote letters. If you didn't, get out of here, bro.
Yo, get out of here, bro. If you don't write that letter, listen, bro, them dudes ain't gonna let you back in. You better write that letter. They're gonna block.
Can write letters and put my name on it.
They're gonna,
I'm not writing.
they're gonna block you on Xbox Live, bro. You ain't going nowhere. You can't come home, G.
Listen, man, I value my time. You know what I'm saying? I work. I am not sitting there writing a 5-page letter to something that no. Hell no. Huh?
I was just saying, like, your 5-page, Michael Pachter letter, right?
Oh yeah. I'm good off that.
Staples is lying. He wrote that letter, bro. Read the
I
letter,
did
bro.
Read this letter though.
Yo, chat. Pressure him to read that letter.
Oh no, I read the letters. I seen the letters.
No, we want you to read your letter. Stop lying.
No,
you wrote one, bro.
my
My man wrote a letter that's like, yo, on God, if you don't allow this damn acquisition to happen, we gonna have problems, bro. Fuck around and find out. Signed, B Staples.
Yeah, pull up.
He said, fuck around and find out. B Staples.
Listen, man, these guys, they get paid a lot of money, man. They do not need my help. Trust me. They do not need a thing from me. I let them handle all of that.
Listen, either way, I'll play whatever the fuck I want, no matter what happens.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I'm unfazed. I barely even touched Activision games, so no skin off my back. But in general, I did see. Listen, nobody should be writing letters. First of all, they're not even going to read your letter. That's first of all. If it's not in a professional manner, like you have some sense, they're just going to throw it out. They're not reading it. So, like, I don't know, man. I've seen some crazy shit like when it comes to these console war stuff, bro. Like, this is up there though. People writing letters. This is up there. This is definitely up there,
is free entertainment, bro. You can't make this shit up.
People are dusty as hell writing that shit.
This shit is free ass entertainment. I'm like, yo, this shit is crazy. Oh shit,
that shit is crazy, man. But
in
terms of the acquisition itself, I think it will go through. I think worst case scenario, they probably just got to do like a concession, From what I've seen, the biggest issue is Game Pass. Because how the CMA describes it, they describe it as its own thing. So, like in their letter or their report, they said it has like 50 to 60% market share.
Yeah.
So by definition, that is close to a monopoly.
Yeah.
So that might be where the issue is. Because Call of Duty on Game Pass would definitely up that to like 70%.
Yeah.
But as far as cloud, I don't think there's actually any, like, there's no argument for cloud. Cloud doesn't have a market right now. You can't put restrictions on something that doesn't even have a market. Like, nobody knows what cloud gaming is yet.
I know.
Like, people,
I know what it is.
It's a market.
I could describe it in 2 words. It's trash.
Well,
2 words. It's trash. There you go. Cloud gaming in a nutshell. It's trash. Okay, so when everybody be like, "Yo, can you explain?" I could do the 2 words. It's trash. There you go, and that's all y'all need to know.
you're right. Right now it is trash. No,
bro.
Game. Right now,
Ain't nobody want that bullshit, man. Like, yo, it trips me out seeing all these hardware, and the ones who are hyping it the most are the ones who play on hardware. I'm like, yo, stop it. You don't care about this shit, bro.
The best implementation of cloud was, I think it was Project Cloud who said it was Google Stadia. And even that wasn't like perfect, but it was still pretty good.
Like my boy, shout out to Moss 2K. He had to create like 5 Twitter accounts to pretend He had a group in Stadia. I'm like, man, he lying, bro. It's the same dude talking to himself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I never used no cloud service.
Shout out to my boy Mouse, but my boy Moss MM2K.
That's what I'm saying though. Like, it's not really viable, so that's why I don't think like it's an actual serious argument. Like, it's the cloud gaming is still years away from actually being like a player. You feel me? So I don't think that there's any actual serious argument regarding that. The other argument is the exclusivity. You're right. They definitely want to take it off of PlayStation for next gen. I definitely agree with you on that. They just have to. I don't know. It's kind of a weird situation because it's a long time, like 5 years. Yeah. Like, nobody could predict 5 years. Like, 5 years is a long time in gaming. 5 years ago, we were playing Horizon 1.
Yeah.
Like, think about that. Like, that is a long
I
don't mean to
in 5 years, we were saying in 5 years we were saying Xbox got no games, and
they didn't. They were on the break of shutting down 5 years ago,
and they still ain't got no games.
Am I wrong? But didn't something come out saying that Activision and Sony had a deal for 7 years?
These tables like, if you don't stop your bullshit right now.
It's 3 years.
5 years ago, Xbox had no games. Wait. 5 years later, y'all still ain't got no games.
No, it's 3 years from. Damn. It's 3 years from this year.
3 years from what year?
No, it runs till 2027. So 5 years.
That's if they extend. That's the extent. Well, that's if they extend.
I'm just saying, 5 years ago, you were in the same position. Yeah. You bought another $500 console with no games to show for it. God damn. How many times can Microsoft sell y'all consoles with no games? Motherfuckers got that shit down to a science.
That next gen.
I'm playing with you. I'm fucking with you, B-Stables. I missed you, bro. I said you haven't been on, so I have to fuck with you.
No, you good, bro. Yeah, man.
I missed you.
You know what I'm saying?
I know you've been busy.
I've been these games, man. I love the holiday time, man. I love the holiday time.
Are you playing these games?
It's a busy time.
Oh, so you playing on that? Bro. Oh, so you playing on that PlayStation then?
Why would I do that?
Yeah, man. You know you ain't playing on Xbox, man. Stop lying.
He can stream PlayStation games on the Xbox browser.
God of War ain't dropped yet.
Ain't dropped yet.
Play that PlayStation yet.
So until then, he's trying to get that 1,000 points on Peppa Pig. Now. Oh shit! Yeah. But I feel what you say, man. Reward. Like I said, listen. For this whole acquisition, to me, it's really simple. Obviously, we all know Microsoft wants a powerful IP to push their Game Pass. You know, Call of Duty comes out every year, so that's perfect for Game Pass. You have a new AAA title guaranteed, and it doesn't matter if it sucks ass. Call of Duty does well. Even the worst Call of Duties be selling. So they have a guaranteed title that no matter what, no matter how bad it is or how good it is, it's going to be popular. You understand what I'm saying? It's going to give them a foothold, get them closer to PlayStation numbers and stuff like that. And that's really it. It's going to be great for Game Pass gamers and Xbox gamers. You know, and for the Xbox gamers that aren't on Game Pass, this might make them go to Game Pass now. This might
go
be,
to Game Pass.
This might be the hill to finally.
And they will leverage this to try to get Game Pass on PlayStation, as Microsoft disclosed.
Oh yeah, but we didn't know that.
But
Sony's we don't want your bullshit. You know,
not yet, not now. But that doesn't mean 3-4 years from now that could change. Just as Kevin, this is Kevin Feige wanted Spider-Man and they couldn't get him, but they got him.
Call of Duty sells amazingly on PlayStation, but people act like this game sells like 50, 60 million. Because I made a comment on Twitter and says, you know, PlayStation will obviously be fine because the majority of PlayStation don't play Call of Duty anyway. It's not the majority.
Yeah,
somebody comes out, how is it not the majority when it sells whatever? I'm like, do not confuse with selling great with majority. The game does not sell 50, 60 million every year. You got a console that sells 100 million. If the majority of PlayStation gamers play Call of Duty, 50, 60, 70 million sells. It doesn't. It sells maybe at most 25. So about 25%.
And that's Microsoft's argument. Yeah. That's basically what they're saying.
So you're not going to get 75 million PlayStation gamers to go to Xbox because of Call of Duty, because 75 million don't play Call of Duty. They don't care. Out of the 25 million, I would say honestly a good 10 million are the hardcore that play Call of Duty religiously. 10 to 15 million, they're leaving. The rest is like the casuals. They play Call of Duty because it's there, but it's not that serious to switch a whole new ecosystem. At best, they'll probably buy an Xbox as a secondary console to play Call of Duty, but they're not going to leave PlayStation because there's other things that the console does that the Xbox simply doesn't do and stuff like that in terms of games, right? You know, Japanese content, third-party deals and stuff like that. So I bet you're talking maybe 10 to 15 million people departing PlayStation, moving over to Xbox and stuff like that, right? So that's what it is. So it's not like 50 million.
By the way, I
PlayStation
do
gamers.
think I know Jim said the deal was inadequate. Listen, Jim's gonna take that deal. He don't got much leverage in this situation. He's gonna take that deal.
Well, but really, he's gonna take the deal. Now, here's what's funny, right? I mean, I don't know. That's just me. I'm just being a fanboy at this point. But like, if I was like Jim, I would be like this. All right, motherfucker. So you bought Activision. All right. I'll be like the dude in Belly with the banana. I'm gonna be like, I don't like this shit at all. I'm gonna be like, I ain't like that shit at all. You know what? Fuck that. No more Call of Duty on PlayStation. You ain't gonna make money off of my platform so you can survive only to fuck me over in 2027. Nah, you want Call of Duty? You want that shit exclusive? Deal with that shit now. You know how much money Microsoft would lose if Sony said, nah, fuck it.
Well, it's still going to be on the PlayStation for another 2 to 3 years.
No, what
even
I'm
if
saying,
they don't take the deal, right?
No. They said 2 to 3 years after the marketing. So I don't know how long the marketing deal is.
Oh, okay. Well, the marketing deal lasts for 2 more years after this year.
No one defined, so I don't know. But I think ultimately the deal's going to cover the next generation. You know, Sony. So I'll say this: if the acquisition deal goes through, and I agree, I think it's gonna go through. I always said it's gonna go through. Because I don't see nothing major. I don't see anything major that's impactful. Maybe the points I brought up, but again, nobody gives a fuck about cloud. Ain't nobody give a shit about that. But I will say, if this is the deal that goes through, and Sony has a short timeline with Call of Duty until 2027, that's their time to start creating bangers for FPS because they're gonna need an answer for the next generation, so they need to establish...
they got one. Did you see the breaking news about The Last of Us? It's going to be possibly free to play, just like we've been saying.
I mean, they need an FPS though, not
and on PC too. They need deal with the cheaters.
They need a first-person shooter.
Oh, Medal of Honor. They're going to get that deal with Medal of Honor. I'm telling you, I'm not even asleep.
What?
Yeah,
Medal of Honor. No, Sony needs a first party. They need a first party shooter. You know, they need to go back to the days of SOCOM.
That's what Deviations is for.
You know what I'm saying? Hopefully. No, Deviation, they're not first party, though. They're like making a deal with them.
Well, they're making a first party AAA game.
Yeah, so they need...
They will be on PC. But they're going to strike that deal with EA.
Yo, I haven't heard of Medal of Honor since like the PS2 days, like from EA.
Yeah, well, it's coming. It's coming. Like the EA president said.
This motherfucker said Haze. Oh, shit. Sony about to bring back a remake of Haze.
What are you referring to? Like, seriously.
Who?
Is there some recent quote from EA on Medal of Honor or something?
No, they were talking about
these things.
No,
I know these things.
Man, Craig going into the archives.
Yeah, I know these things. This is brutal.
He got it from a janitor in the back of a Wawa.
What?
Craig, can I see your DMs?
He says, "Can you give me screenshots of your DMs?" No, you just piqued Cloud's interest. You into Medal of Honor or something?
I'm telling you,
yes,
he is just sitting there waiting for somebody to come along and nurture it back to the giant flower it was.
Oh,
so it's coming.
Do you remember,
actually, Messiah, you're not wrong about. I can see that with Vince and Pella. Actually,
yeah, Sony is going to go in there, and this is if the deal goes through. That deal's got to go through first.
But Medal of Honor's owned by EA though.
Who's gonna?
I know. And they're going to throw money at them to bring it back. Exclusively to PlayStation.
No, this guy's bugging.
You know what?
I love you, Craig, man. You are the man,
and bro. PC. PlayStation and PC. So it's happening.
You are the man.
It's going to happen.
You heard it here first. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
From Craig. I'm going to be specific.
The same person that told you
if he is
Game
right,
Pass was coming to PlayStation.
Game Pass going to PlayStation, this guy.
You know,
but listen, you cannot. Listen.
EA ever made a PlayStation exclusive?
Who? EA?
EA?
Probably.
I don't know. You probably have to go back into the archives. But yeah, it's gonna happen. But the deal's got to go through first. That's the first thing that's got to happen. You know, you got to plant the flower, and they will go ahead and do it. Just as they will get something called Battlefield, they'll get the marketing for that. If the deal goes through,
I'm gonna let you know.
Like the
This
It's gonna happen.
This is all Craig. But if he's right, we got to give him his flowers.
I'm always right.
Oh, shit.
Told you all the Game Pass was going to be on PlayStation.
But that didn't happen, though. So how can you? You can't say.
The fact that they're okay, but the fact that they came out publicly.
But we knew that already.
No, we did not.
Listen,
we just got our confirmation.
Listen. We knew that Phil wants Game Pass on everything. If he could put that shit on my fan,
we were told
he would put it on my fan.
Okay, but we were told by multiple, moist ass people, oh no, it'll never happen. It's not gonna happen now. This is the same people saying, Spider-Man will never go into the MCU. Guess what, you shit tards? He's there. So eventually, this will happen.
That's a false equivalency.
No, it's not. It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
You're just picking. People said the sun's not going to rise in the east. Well, look at that. It happened.
Sony said no. My point to you is Sony will always say no at first, and eventually they will get to a point just like they did.
I don't think they're going to put
it's happening.
I don't think
it's happening. It is happening. 30 months. Wait, about 30 months.
Right.
So a little over 2 years?
2 to 3 years, yeah.
It's not going to happen.
They're going to come back.
No way.
Okay.
Not at all, but we'll find out. Hey, clip that. Hey, let's move on to the next topic. I want to talk about this topic, all right? So the Bayonetta actress. Damn, I deleted it. I'm going to share my screen. But apparently there was, some issues. The voice actress of Bayonetta claimed that she was only going to get paid $4,000 doing the voice of Bayonetta, and she made a video and she came out to the community asking for us to advocate for her by boycotting Bayonetta 3 as a movement of getting low pay, the game's successful, blah blah blah. She was mentioning assumed dollar value, and she felt that that the pay whatever, right? So she went out to the gaming community in a video she put on Twitter requesting that the gamers boycott the game in solidarity to her and to all the people who are not getting paid. Well, come to find out that como se dice, they offered her $15,000 for multiple sessions to do the voiceover. So now
y'all better listen.
Yeah, so now there's a conundrum, right? Now I'm gonna ask your guys' opinion on this one. We're gonna start with B Staples. We'll work our way now. It'll be B Staples, Call Me J, Messiah, Project Cloud. But I would just start out this.
I gotta hop off. I'm sorry.
Okay, you're hopping off, brother?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
I gotta leave.
Okay,
take care, guys.
All right, just okay, brother. Thanks for stopping through, man.
Yeah.
Right?
Hit the like button, chat. Hit the like.
Hit that like.
So to kick off, I would say in my opinion for this topic is, I think the mistake she made wasn't the fact that she advocated for more pay. I think where she went wrong is she went to the gaming community and tried to get solidarity for that. I think she just should have kept it to her business. If she didn't want to do the $4,000, she says, nope, I'm not doing it. Boom. And if people during the interview says, hey, how come you didn't do that? She could have just simply said, hey, they weren't paying me enough that I felt that they should pay me to do the job, and just left it at that, right?
But we have different opinions then.
But I'm going to tell you why. Because by advocating to the gaming community, it's the equivalent of the mod bosses going to Joker just because Batman was whooping their ass. You went to a group you fundamentally don't understand. And primarily, this group, the gamers, are primarily invested in playing the games. So you got gamers, especially on the Nintendo side, that will sell their own moms to sex trade to play Bayonetta 3. And you decided to go out into this group and expect solidarity support. And I'm thinking you have no idea, the Pandora's box you open. And God help you if your story isn't a straight shooting story, that you're not completely honest. Then you're going to get the rage of 1,000 virgin gamers after you. Right? And that's exactly what happened. There, the developer side of the story said no. What actually was this amount for these minute sessions, and that would equate to $15,000.
Yeah.
And now, the group that you tried to get solidarity from, they are like, you lied to us tar and feather the bitch, you know? And I'm like, man, you should have left her alone. But now with that, B Staples, I'm glad you said something. Rock out. Give me your opinion on this.
I think, see, you're looking at it from the gamers. I'm think about when the story first came out, right? It was everywhere. It was trending. Her video had like 7 million views. It was on TMZ, right? When it first broke. She knew that this was gonna be the reaction that she got. She knew all the gaming check marks that got influence was gonna. People already don't really like platinum games. You know, like after Babylon's Falls flopped, the CEO blocks everyone on Twitter. They already was like an easy target, like to pile on, and I felt like she took advantage of that because out of this, it turns out that since she lied. But nobody has even apologized to Platinum Games. When Platinum Games came out and said she's lying, and it came out it's true that she's lying, nobody apologized to them.
So it is true. So she did lie. It's verified.
Yeah, she lied. At first she said she was getting 4,000, and then Jason Schreier put out an article and said it was 15. And then she came out, I think today or yesterday, saying that it was 15. So initially she lied. It was never 4,000. So that's what I'm saying. That like I feel like she took advantage of because the check marks in the Twitter, they're so easy to just pile on a studio. Y'all see it all the time. They just easy to just I don't know. They hate corporations. Like I don't know. It's just weird times right now, and I feel like she took advantage of that because the story blew up. You know what I'm saying? Like it blew up. It was on TMZ. Like
really.
Yeah, you didn't see the tweet? They tweeted about it.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I didn't see that?
No, I didn't see TMZ.
Someone in your chat probably do that. But yeah, the story blew up. And even though it came out that she lied, that doesn't get nearly the half of the attention as her initial video. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's you go.
You know, so they lied, and now nobody's trying to be like, you know what, we were wrong. We kind of.
There were some YouTubers that are obviously incels in the gaming community. They came out and was like, well, I should have waited and for the full story. And it was stuff like, I saw a few people do that. But overall, they've been very quiet.
Yeah. And I feel like that's like not good. Because they just ran to take her side and things like that. You got to hear both sides. You know what I'm saying? Because there's always 3 sides to a story.
Yeah.
One side, the other side,
and the truth. Yeah.
The truth always comes out. And this time the truth came out, and now everyone's quiet. And I feel like it's unfortunate. I hope something like this doesn't happen again. Like people learn their lesson. You know, you got to hear all sides.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion on it.
Okay. What do you think about this, Craig?
Well, I agree with what he said. Ever since the Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial, people do need to slow their roll, especially on what it has to be said. What women will say, they will lie, and she was approved. She got shown. She defamed me. She got the jury heard her, and they said no, this is libel and slander. So and that's ultimately what she could be hit with is libel if it turns out they have some type of evidence of a contract. So people, I've said this before. Look, you have people that are content creators that have actual media credentials, and they just run with the first thing they see on Reddit. They don't confirm anything. You would think somebody or a group of people that have press credentials, they would confirm their sources. And a lot of people don't do it for because they want to be the first one to get the stuff out. Just like you had idiots running around saying that the people who are making Callisto Protocol, that their game was going to be delayed. I mean, they literally did podcasting saying this game is delayed. Only 6 hours later, they came out and said, no, our game has gone gold. So I don't know why people won't wait for an official press release to get the proper information, because then they look like a bunch of asses. So, and I can't blame them because they put the information out and they have idiots following them. So just people got to really be careful on just check your sources. That's all I can say. Check your sources. It's like when I heard 2 months ago that Harrison Ford was going to be coming into the MCU as Thunderbolt Ross after the death, I think it was William Hurt, I believe. So, but nothing was confirmed. It was just kind of out there, and even he denied it. And then a few weeks later, I think last week it was an official announcement that he is in the MCU as Thunderbolt Ross. So people just need to confirm what they hear, and you need to demand more of the people that you're listening to. So yes, this is her fault. This is on her, and but it's also on the people that rush to judgment. Like B Staples said, y'all gotta get the full story, because he is right. There's her truth, there's the company's truth, then there's going to be the actual physical truth. And if this woman has lied, she could be hit with a lawsuit. She could be. Not that they would, but she could be sued. So I have to wait and see what happens with it.
Yeah, that's what, defamation? Yeah. Is that what it's called?
It could be a form of defamation. It's a form of slander. And ultimately, this is why you wait on. This is why I say on my podcast all the time, nothing is official until the company says it. Nothing's official. So just don't report it till it becomes official. So so yes, this is her fault, but it's also the fault of these incels that came out running out here. Well, look what they're doing. We're going to boycott this game. Now they all look stupid. Mm-hmm. So at this point right now, unless something changes, all those guys look stupid. And the gals that came out, well, this is unfair. Women were being treated so terribly. It looks like this woman could have lied. So, and if she lied, then the people who were coming out here saying it should give you a full-throated apology. Or you need to demand better. Just don't think so little of yourself to listen to these clowns. This is their fault, but it's also your fault as listeners for listening to these idiots. That's all I got to say.
Mm. So I mean, again, they try to use cancel culture, because everybody likes to fight the big guy, right, and stuff like that, and get involved and try to fight the good fight. But at the end of the day, to me, things like that, hey, if you don't like a certain job, then you just don't take the offer and just move on. Her mistake was trying to go to the community, try to get a backlash, and she was clearly lying. That shit is crazy, and she rightfully getting the hate, and then they try to pull the whole misogynist and all this stuff, toxic masculinity, and I'm like, yo, it's just a strange world we live in where you get caught being a liar and no one holds you accountable for being a liar. Like, it's a strange world. Like, they will target everything else, toxic masculinity or, misogyny, all this weird shit, right? But you get caught plain in a lie and no one will say a thing. And anybody who tries to address it, they get shamed. It reminds me of I don't know if you guys saw it this past week, Paris. He recently said something about he just finds it weird that people use his old tweets and brings it back up as a gotcha moment. Not realize that's how you hold people accountable. Because people say one thing completely different than like, hold up, wait a minute. In this tweet, you said this. Paris is like, oh, he thinks that's stupid. And it's people like him or these blue check marks, they don't want like people to use their own words against them. They don't want to be held accountable for the words they said in the past because they get paid or recognition or clout by saying the most ridiculous things, and they don't want to be held accountable. They want the glory, but they don't want the pain that comes with it. They just want to say what they want to say, gain traction, gain social media interaction, get paid, get some money, get some recognition, and then when it backfires on them, oh no, it's you the problem. Why are you bringing that up? You shouldn't be bringing that up. You're the problem. And I'm like, yo, this is insane. How people are trying to live in a world with no accountability for the things they do or the things they say. Yo, this is crazy.
Well, it's a lack of accountability. It's entitlement. It's all those things. So this woman comes out and says something, and these guys immediately just throw themselves to the wolves for her. That's incel behavior. People in the chat saying, why are they incels? That's why. That is incel behavior. Not going to wait for any type of anything else to come in. Believe all women. We got to believe all women. That's what you just saw. So, and again, people just need to wait on the whole story to come out. And as more information comes out, I will give some people credit. They came out and they said they were wrong and they should have waited for more information. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, there's just a lack of accountability, and that goes with the entitlement thing, because it's like, well, I'm entitled to say this. I'm entitled to do this, you know? So it is what it is. And people just, I can't, like you said, Porter Rod, you can't blame the people for rushing the stuff out, because that's what they're going to do. It is up to the people who listen to them to hold them accountable. So yeah, I agree with what you said 100%. And it's okay for the content creator, whoever you listen to, be wrong. If somebody is really wrong, and if you make a mistake and you work for the New York Times, you print out a retraction, okay? Because it happens all the time. I'm sure the New York Times will have a retraction on something this week. But at the end of the day, it's about the entitlement behavior, and that's what you see with Paris. He feels like he's entitled to say things and not be held accountable. You know, this is a gotcha moment, and this is why you're doing this. You know, this is toxic. No, you said something that wasn't true. You know, take accountability and move on. That's all people are asking people to do. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Unfortunate.
Yeah. I mean, chances are, you know, unless something serious, most gamers were not going to boycott this game anyway. It's just a reality. I think. If business,
especially the Nintendo guys,
yeah,
them guys go hard.
They definitely right. I think for the most part, if people expect, to get better paying jobs, you got to advocate for yourself and don't expect for people to boycott. That's just something, you know, call for unions, any of that stuff or whatever. But yeah, to me, when she went to the public and she was like, oh, you know, boycott the game, she did a whole video, and she did that. I looked at the video, I'm like, oh, baby girl, like, I already saw it coming. I'm like, this is not gonna bode well for you. Like this is not gonna bode well for you at all. I don't know. It's just weird, right?
Yeah, well, again, we'll have to wait and see how it all turns out. But this is why I always say it's not official until the studio or whoever comes out and says it. She's made her accusations. That's what they were. Now, if this company, you said it was Platinum Games, if they have evidence of a contract that was offered and they can put that out publicly, which I'm sure they won't unless something legal happens. But let's just say they put something out. They get it through their attorneys. They say, we don't care about the NDA. We're going to expose this person. Then here you go. You know, then and then she could be in a lot of more trouble. But we'll have to wait and see. But this is why you shouldn't. I can't say what you should or shouldn't do. You all should not go ahead and jump off the bridge because your friend did it. That's the term we would say back in the day. You know, your parent would say, oh, well, such and such was run out in traffic. Would you do it? Oh, yeah. And so, but this, all you have to do is wait. You know, you can look at, like I said, Grafton Incorporated, the people who were doing Callisto Protocols. The people reported their game was delayed. A few hours later, boom, they came out and said, our game is just going to go or whatever. So, you all should just wait. It's okay.
I think ultimately there's not really to wait because the people they're gonna buy the game. So I think that they're not gonna boycott it. I think that's pretty much a wrap. I think all she did was make herself look bad. Ultimately, the developers, they're gonna be fine because they're gonna make a great game. I think it's already getting great reviews. I think it's like an 89 on Metacritic already.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, that's great.
So it's already all right. So now
it's on a 69.
Yeah. Oh shit. So the last topic I want to bring up is as God of War Ragnarok is approaching, Xbox fanboys are feeling the effects. So they failed miserably, like absolute miserably, to try to attempt to recreate the Craig scenario. Bazooka Long. You guys talking about Game of the Year God of War yet? We doing it right now. All right?
Closing shop with it. Closing shop.
And B Staples, I need you to chime in. Like, why is your Xbox dudes? I know you about this game. I know you're going to play it. But why are your fellow brethrens unhinged over this? Like, here's the thing. So, everybody sees the image I have on the screen right now. So, they're trying to use this image, and they're trying to recreate the magic Craig created in July 2020, right? So they try to do their own, version. They try to call this guy Kevin, whatever weird name, whatever, and it went nowhere. I was just looking at the timeline. I'm like, all right, I see what they're trying to do. Let's see how this goes. And that shit went nowhere. Like, it's just really within that little circle of Xbox fanboys, Andrea Piccinini, New Legal. It's in that little crew. They tried to do the Lord's work and get it trending and failed. Like, absolutely failed. Nowhere near on the level of our boy, the most iconic mascot of this gen, Craig. Like, they just couldn't recreate the magic. So I gotta know, man. B-Stables, let me know, man. Man, is God of War Ragnarok got the community on your side of how shook? Are they shooketh? Is this like the final dagger of 2022 that made them snap?
Listen, man. When it comes to PlayStation, they release a lot of games. All right? They release a lot of games, but how you feel about them a lot, that's your opinion. But God of War, that's the number one to me. To me, that's the number one. That's the number one with a bullet too. I don't think anything comes close.
You think they crazy that they even tried?
I think they crazy that they even listen. You could come for The Last of Us 2. That game got flaws. You could come for Horizon. That game got a lot of flaws, in my opinion. You can't come for God of War, bro. That's the number one. That's the undeniable, in my opinion. God of War is undeniable. You know what I'm saying? That's a game that I'll never slander. When it comes to PlayStation, y'all got it with God of War. Y'all got it. So I think people are a little anxious because this is day one, man. I think this for me personally, this is probably gonna be the game that I like from PlayStation most from the gen. Because that was the case last gen. You know what I'm saying? God of War 2018, that was my favorite PlayStation game of last gen. So that might be the case again this gen. You feel me? So.
Oh shit! Don't let them see. Don't let them hear you say that out loud, bro. They're gonna block you out of Xbox Live.
Listen, man. I think they know. I think everyone knows that God of War. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think everyone knows. Deep down, everyone knows. Like, you can't come for that game. You come for the other games. You can't come for that game. So, I think everyone's just a little anxious right now. We got 2 more weeks, man.
All right, no doubt. Woo! It's going to be glorious. Hey, Craig, what do you think?
It's the same thing they always do. First, it looked last gen, then it was DLC. Then, it's the same thing. They always do the exact same thing. It's not even fun anymore. It's kind of like when Thanos put his hands on Stark and said, it's okay, Tony. Half of humanity will still be alive once I'm done. So it's just it's not fun anymore. It's like beating somebody up and then kicking them in their throat. So it's the game. It's why are they getting upset? They've been mad for 5 years. Shout out to OBJ to Don. Quote: "Them niggas is mad as hell." End quote. So that will not change because of this. They got mad beginning of this generation. They're mad now. They're mad about the Activision deal. We go on and on and on. So ultimately, they're disappointed in what Microsoft is doing, and they don't have the balls to leave the ecosystem for whatever reason, and demand better, and that is their fault. So them getting upset over God of War, and next year they're going to get upset probably over the Harry Potter game, even though they have access to it. They're mad it ain't on Game Pass. They're mad that the Dark Space games that are coming, it's not on Game Pass. You're gonna see that, and so it's unfortunate, but this is what they chose. This is the path they chose, and it's really sad to see them in this condition. Like I said, they're down bad. Bots down bad. I hashtag it all the time. So it is what it is.
All right. Yep. They unhinged, man. Get ready for that greatness, guys, because it's coming. It's right on the corner, and it's gonna be absolutely glorious. Last minute topic I want to talk about real quick, and I'm gonna share my screen. Go right here. Is the rumor apparently Naughty Dog's upcoming multiplayer experience for The Last of Us seems to be free to play according to our job posting.
Yes, I love it.
Hardy hates it. He's like, no, hell no. Hardy's not trying to hear it. He's like, trying to hear it. But I've been said this. I said this so many times. We talked about this like for ad nauseum that chances are The Last of Us, from the moment Sony said, hey, it's not going to be part of Last of Part, it's not going to be part of Last of Us Part 2. It's going to be a standalone game. I'm thinking, I don't see them selling Last of Us multiplayer for $60 by itself. I don't see them. I don't see them making a standalone game for $60 or $70 now. I don't see it. I in my mind, I'm thinking it's going to be a free to play, which will then, and I think it's going to be on PS4. I think it's going to be on PS4, PS5, and PC.
Yep, and maybe even their cell phone, the Xperia cell phone.
Man, you need to stop with that bullshit. Now you're going too far, Craig.
PS4 would be very disappointing. I'm not gonna lie to you. This game comes out PS4.
I think because remember the Last of Us 2 came out on PS4.
Yeah, that's a good point. You're right. The Last of Us, and they did do the remake. I think it's. I don't have an issue with it.
B Staples, believe me, I'm there with you, brother. Like, I'm so tired of the PS4, bro. Like, yo, that console's been out for 8 years, bro. Let that motherfucker die. Like, bro, do we really need 9 years of this shit? That shit's the Michael Myers of gaming, bro. Let that shit die, bro. Like, come on, bro. Trust me, man. Sony, just make more consoles. The people on PS4 don't even want PS4. Like, bro, let that shit go, man. I'm telling you, bro. You right, bro. Like, Last of Us, to me, Last of Us multiplayer should just be at a minimum PS5, PC.
You think so? Really?
No. I say it should be. I didn't say it is.
It should be. Okay,
I said it should be. That's how I would like to see it. But I have a feeling it's going to be PS4, PS5, PC, mainly because, The Last of Us 2 came out in 2020 on PS4, sold 10 million, whatever. But I'm so tired of hearing the PlayStation 4, man. I'm like, yo, I'm so sick of this console. I'm sick of it. Yo, for real. Like, damn it.
I love it.
Oh, my God, bro. Why you love it, man? That console's trash. Move on, bro.
I love it, man. I just love it. I mean, as long as, I guess, they're looking at it differently, and it'll be on PC, I guess. And but it's just, if this is true, let's make this clear. This is a rumor, like Porter Rock is saying. So it may not be true. Let's just put that out first, because remember, it's not official until Sony comes out and says it. So, but if it is true, I'll be laughing at the idiots who thought that it was going to be different. And especially when we tried to tell them, hold your horses. Here's what's happening this generation. Shout out to Hip Hop Gamer, who actually has friends in the industry that say, here's what's going to happen. So let's have to wait and see if it's true or not.
Sony supported the previous platform before, but it's primarily providing support for third party. Because, some third party I could imagine still want to make games for PS4, because there's a lot of people. Yeah. And that games might be it might be AA games and indies, and titles that don't have the big blockbuster AAA budget for marketing. So I understand there's going to be third party that might have new projects for the PS4. Still disappointing, but I can see that. But like Sony's first party, man, just go all in, bro. Go all in on that PS5, bro. Just go all in.
Think it's I think you'll see more movement starting next year, because they've been able when they went down to that 6 nanometer chip, they were able to get more stock out. That was their projection at their big meeting I can't remember if it was the spring meeting that Sony had, that they would be able to get out X amount of consoles. They thought they had secured enough parts. So if that turns out to be true, and there's more PS5s popping up in stores, things like that, whether they be bundles. So if that is true, I could see them starting to move away from it mid 2023, late 2023. But I have to wait and see. And again, this is a rumor, folks. Don't run with this. We're just kind of having a little fun with it. But I love it. Especially for all these numbnuts who said this wasn't what's going to happen. Like, the supply constraints around the world has a lot to do with this, and you have to be nimble on your feet. But I understand what B Staples is saying. You're saying, Porter Rock. You gotta. This thing is like the boogeyman. It's like John Wick. It won't. The man won't die. So we'll have to wait and see if it's true or not. But if it is true, I'll be on the floor laughing. Like, it's like if the CMA thing doesn't go through. I'll be on the floor laughing about that too.
Right.
So yeah, I have to wait and see.
CB3 with the super chat says, "You think bots are crying now? Wait until Final Fantasy 16. Factions.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2.
That game.
Wolverine drop. The console sales gap is gonna widen even further apart. It's gonna be a bloodbath.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. No, they won't care. Yeah, they will. Any game that they don't have access to, they care about, or else they wouldn't talk about it.
My boy Sin out here is like, fuck y'all, buy me a PS5 then. I have bills to pay. Stop lying, Sin. You know your ass is not on that PS4. This man, if you don't get your ass, you lying ass. You lying eyes. Man, lying out here talking about he out here on his 2013 launch PS4. Man, if you don't stop. You out here lying. You ain't playing on that. Yo, shit. Oh, man. It's crazy.
It's lying eyes. I forgot about that.
I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? I mean, but I knew it was going to be free to play. But, like B Staples, I'm hoping it's not on PS4. I'm going to assume that it's going to be on PS4. It's getting old, bro. I'm sick and tired of this shit, bro. It is what it is.
John Wick.
You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that shit don't survive. But anyway, we're going to wrap this shit up. B Staples. Give your shout outs, my brother.
Yo, another good podcast as usual. Shout out to Craig, the panel, Porter Rock, homie Jay, Cloud. Thanks for having me as usual, man.
Yeah, no doubt. Craig?
Yeah. Oh yeah, thanks for having me.
He's
I'm
like,
off tomorrow. I'm tired. Yeah, we had a pretty.
You're gonna have a porch light in the
work.
morning?
I don't know. I'm the Black Panther movie Red Carpet is tomorrow, and I'm more interested in getting some info. We just had the Ant-Man and Wasp trailer drop, so Kang in there.
Wow, you in the red carpet or something? You got
the
invited?
red carpeting, yeah, at El Capitan. I think they're at El Capitan Theater in Los Angeles.
Oh.
That's I think it's either at 7 or 8 o'clock Eastern time. So I'm still messing around with this TV. I got the B2.
Man, I'm in California. I need to get myself an invite.
Yeah, there you go. See if you can get on out there. But yeah, I'll be messing around with this TV
I'm gonna
tomorrow.
red carpet,
probably,
and they're gonna be like, "Who the fuck is this dude?" I'm gonna be like, "Your only friend in these YouTube streets."
In these YouTube streets.
Everybody's be like, "Who are you again?"
Dragging you to jail.
Your only friend in these YouTube streets. Anyway,
TMZ.
Yo,
TMZ.
who the fuck is this dude? Be like, you know.
But yeah,
shit.
so I may do one, and if some more information comes out about this Last of Us thing, that's about the only big time news. Callisto Protocol went gold, people. Hopefully, you all go buy it and enjoy it, and you all have a good evening and play the games, man. Play the game.
No doubt, man. Hey, again, I want to thank the panels. Craig, B Staples, thanks for coming through. Of course, call me Jay. Thank you so much for stopping by. Project Cloud, thank you for everybody in the chat. Thank you so much for coming through. I hope you enjoyed the show. To all the viewers, the subscribers, the supporters, thank you so much for coming through. To the members, thank you so much for being part of the 60FNL family. And if you're new here or you've seen this video through recommendation, hey, man, stick around. Hit the subscribe button. I'll see you again next Tuesday. 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Come on through. We have a good time. Great conversations. This is your only friend, these YouTube streets, Porter77. And we're out of here. And I will see you guys next Tuesday. And I might drop a video or two later on in the week. See you guys on Twitter, so we could do more of the bullshit. Gotham Knights Game of the Year at 30 frames per second. Ouch. You guys take care. Peace.